cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call size.
God, hallelujah! We are alive, we are alive, we are really fucking alive. Saying Jesus, thank the Lord, we are alive.
For that pirate radio bullshit. He's eBay.
What up, blood? What up, blood? What up, blood?
What up, gangsta?
I'll have a lawsuit. Like, hey, County bent over ways, and there's
Everything's so keno.
to fucking fix it at all.
That burp was so keno.
But a few times, so I guess technically I'm like 4-4 now. But we win again, boys. Victory. Who's the lolcow? I'm just curious. Yeah, you don't have that brand anymore. I've mastered that brand. I am the lolcow wrangler. Oh, look at! Oh, I hurt my feelings. Look, guys, I'm eating. I'm eating. I do look I look massive right there.
His neck is gone. He's gotten so fat, there's no neck left. Look.
Wow.
Look. Gone. Gone.
One of my closest friends, in the midst of all this trouble, all the
Did they like?
Sorry. Oh shit. Sorry. Oh man.
Hold on. Did they like fatten my hand up or something? It looks like they.
During his criminal charges and everything, his whole life going to shit, his best friend goes, listen, it's true. You're fat.
It looks like they CGI'd the shit out of that, doesn't it?
He told me my face is getting fat. People are saying W friend. Okay, I'll remember that.
Hello. Whoa.
Hello, everybody.
Vienna sausage fingers. Goddamn right.
Yeah.
Right? Well, bad news, guys. Bad news. I'm just kidding. Steve's here. Everyone. Steve from Truth Seekers.
Greetings and salutations.
Yes. So happy to have you here.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
thanks for taking time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see how this goes. Oh man. Right. That's one of the
Say
guys
hello.
that we laugh at now. Oh. Cat's in the house.
Yeah. She needs her attention.
Right. So tonight we're gonna talk what? Bob Lazar and then Area 51, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about.
We've got the two things that merge, just like in the sector.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is connected, from PPP all the way to the least being Todd, I guess,
Right.
and his conspiracies.
Todd has bargain bin PPP. He wishes he was PPP.
Yeah.
It's like the Wish version of PPP. Like you order them on Wish and you get this bad shit version.
He's
imitation.
like the Wish version of Temu version.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's
bad.
bad.
PPP.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, and add in a whole lot of anti-Semitism.
Right. You listen to 5 minutes, you're going to hear some of the most homoerotic, but also somehow homophobic, anti-Semitic, racist, and
It's like David Wilcock
Asian.
stream. Yeah.
Yeah. He knocks them all down, that's for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I like proving anti-Semites wrong. It's a kind of a family passion of mine.
He also thinks that he's so important that the feds are actively like surveilling his house. He thinks he's speaking some sort of truth that's so important that the government is
That's
actively trying to shut him up.
It's a
So,
common grifter tactic. Pretend that you're under attack by the deep state so people feel sorry for you and give you more money. And it's a psychological tactic to make people think that your information is so dangerous or important. In other words, it's bullshit.
that's exact everything about it. He's just okay, right? I guess we could start off with a little Todd. Show him some funny stuff. Any requests for Todd content? No.
I have no idea.
I know. I was talking to those three or
It's,
the audience.
I wish I would have told you to pull up the Richard aliens theory.
They think God is an alien and we're like chickens to God. Like,
Well, it's basic. Yeah, that's basic ancient aliens theory. They meddled with our DNA to the monkeys and made us to mine gold, which makes no sense because, you know, if you could travel through interstellar space, then you have the technical capability to just transmute elements, so you wouldn't need to travel to other star systems. It's kind of stupid,
right.
This is where we're
and
at.
You could just capture asteroids who have more precious metals than we have. Period.
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna get real nerdy up in here. So I dig it.
All right. Let's see.
Tactical hobbits, really.
He's so
Nomad. We need tactical hobbits ASAP.
Oh God.
Why? Oh, that's not the right clip. Here, we'll start with this.
Well, no, not unless some super secret squirrels messed around and stingrayed my my Wi-Fi system, which might explain why all of a sudden I dropped down to like 3 people in my stream from like 9.
Oh yeah, shadow banned by the deep state. Not that he sucks. Nobody wants to listen to him. Fuck this guy already. I don't even know him.
So suddenly the battery just stops working. Front door's offline. Learn more. Front door's off.
He didn't know that he had to charge his Ring camera, so he then, as he's streaming, his camera dies, and he's being stingrayed by the feds. And this is a dude that begs people to.
They got those secret robot squirrels that they send out to rural locations to stop people from live streaming important, truth and information.
Funny you say that about squirrels.
Right. This dude is in his 50s and asked I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. He asked me if I'm proud of him type stuff. But he did a video outside of his homestead and he saw a red squirrel and he was like, "Oh, I've never seen a red squirrel before. That's got to be a drone." And it's like, dude.
Well, it depends on regions. Like I have a cabin in the Poconos. We don't have red squirrels in Pennsylvania.
Black squirrels.
We have gray squirrels or black squirrels.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but they're not red squirrels. Red squirrels are distinctly different. It depends on the region, though. That wherever he's at, apparently they got some red squirrels. It's not a big deal. That's like the birds aren't real conspiracy. There's some that are just so dumb I can't even do them. Flat Earth.
Voodoo.
Yeah.
I could do a video on the cat surveillance that a certain 3-letter agency undertook, implanting surveillance devices in cats.
You can't get cats to do what you want them to do, though. That's so I don't know why.
Exactly the point.
Right.
They
This
kept
dude
getting run
also-
over.
He begged another man to show up to his house and piss in his ass. He invites people to come to his house and attempt to push his shit in. And then Also, when there's a flower delivery guy at his house, he calls the cops because he's got dominant hips. Like
he has a weapon.
Right.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So within minutes of going live, all of a sudden this guy comes back and knocks on my front door again. I saw him on the ring alarm. He looks like a Fed. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm guessing it has something to do with Chris Ryder trying to serve me. There's going to be an officer on the way here because this guy's shown up to my house twice now. I don't know who he is, and the second time he showed up, my ring alarm device suddenly my batteries don't work. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because you didn't charge it, you fucking moron.
Right. This is when he found out there's batteries in his camera, is in this moment. It must be new since he's started like getting real paranoid and like geeked out. They
So
must have gotten a camera.
That's when you know. You get a little paranoid, you start putting more and more cameras around. Yeah. Why should I look outside? I'll just sit here on my computer and look at my 6 cameras. I'm not paranoid at all.
He doesn't leave his wife's basement at all. Like, the guy, he joined the military in the 80s, got knocked back down to private, took an early out, so he didn't even finish his enlistment. And then he re-enlisted in 2005 when he had ran out of other options in life and just wanted to make sure that he got like a paycheck.
Real winner.
This is a dude that told the internet that he had asked his wife multiple times to marry him, and he said no, or she said no, because she knew that he only wanted to get married so they could get welfare benefits.
Well, there's a life plan for you. You know, honey, we'll get more welfare if we tie the knot. I'm a winner. Come with me to the altar, baby. That's like those. Did you ever work somewhere where there's like a bunch of women that work there and they all pretend they don't know where their husband is, so they get like food stamps or something?
Yeah.
And their husband's picking them up from work every day, and he doesn't have a job, but they do. It's awesome.
Right. That's basically him. She works at a hospital as a nurse, and then he streams for 18 to 22 hours a day to 3 to 13 people.
Oh, so he's a live streamer. I don't like those guys. I used to know a guy, and he did a regular show, but then he would like stream himself walking to 7-Eleven to get Monster Energy drinks and babble.
Oh no, he don't get up off his ass.
And then he would stream himself walking back, and then he would do another stream, and it's like, dude, no, you're not this important. You're not this interesting to make, expect people to tune into this shit.
Right.
18 hours. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't even leave his house. That's the thing. He sits in the basement, right? And then he plays he streams himself gaming. And the only time he stops is when he goes to make a cooking video that is trash, and then comes right back to his gaming stream. Like,
yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania, and you could probably hear my voice. I'm actually from Philly. I always tell people, if you've ever seen the Rocky movies, I grew up right in the neighborhood where that was filmed, right near Mick's Gym and the pet store where Rocky's wife worked. I grew up right around the corner from there. Everybody knows that neighborhood. Don't look like the Rocky movies no more. Now it's a drug infested mess down there. It's the fentanyl capital of the East Coast, unfortunately, and also the heroin capital. But really, half the heroin or more is really just fentanyl, and it's really sad actually what happened. It's like a zombie apocalypse. It's why I moved out of the city. I lived in the city my whole life, but I just, after having children, and having to explain to my one child why somebody was camping in a tent at 7-Eleven, I just said it's time to move. That and all the doper steel and everything that's not nailed down, it's time to move.
Yeah, I'm just outside of Pittsburgh, so I'm not too far from you, actually. Unfortunately, I want to get back to West Virginia, but
You sound more like a West Virginia guy.
Yeah.
West Virginia is beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, there's a Russian paid for compound that might be on the market.
Really?
I don't have Malta.
Are you talking about Tim Pool?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I once interviewed Ian, and it was like one of the weirdest interviews that I've ever done.
That's my favorite person in the world.
Me too. I thought he was a cool guy, but like he just was like very incoherent during the interview. In my at least that's the way that I experienced. I don't know. Because I thought here's what I thought going into the interview. Like Tim Pool's always cutting him off, right?
Yeah.
He's always cutting Ian off. Every time Ian starts talking, they cut him off. So I thought, what if you really start drill down and let him talk? But he just started rambling like incoherently after a little while. So now I know why they cut him off, because he's like the graphene and the deep state. And like, I was like, uh-oh, this is not going well. And I also thought
the sun.
I also thought because he's on this monster show, like this will get huge views. It got like 1,000 views. Nobody cared, you know?
Like he talks about staring into the sun until the spots disappear. The other day he was talking about magic dwarves and warrior, like just all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm like, but then Tim lost all that Russian money. Milo made him freak out, which was hilarious.
Yeah, I like the Milo takedown, but honestly, I don't know that I blame Tim Pool because I own what I guess you consider as a small media company, and I'm kind of on his side in the fact that if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, we want to take your content and put it on this channel, and we'll give you this much money," I don't know that I would dig that much into the deal to find out what the source of the money was or whatever. So he may be totally innocent, or he may have known that it was probably dirty money, but it was.
Well, his education level too is.
I mean, if Andy figured it out, I mean, pretty much anyone should like. I mean, maybe not at first, but after a while, Tenet Media was like. But at that point, you're already in bed with them, and you're already making a fuck ton of money. So
going into debt with that money coming in.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how you can sign up for that. You know, I'll talk some shit. Just make sure the check is big. But you can't because you get in trouble because the feds will come after you for spreading disinformation knowingly or something.
Right?
Yeah, that's a bad situation. There's a bad situation. And I liked when he started freaking out because he had to pay people. He doesn't want to pay people like unless they're a subcontractor.
Yeah.
Like, listen, at some point you make so much money, you shouldn't be so greedy. You should give your employees health coverage and whatever they need because they're, you know, if you know anything about business, an employee doesn't just cover their own salary. They cover their own salary and they kick up some money to you. Right. You're just, you know, if you're a good business person, you know, so his whole reluctance to, you know, deal with West Virginia wanting him to call his employees, not subcontractors. It's kind of laughable at some point. You got too much money, bro. Like just let them be employees, you know, if you want to stay there. And then the funny thing is I think I heard Triple P say this, like, he's dumped millions of dollars into that compound, and who but like some burnout skater moron is going to with tons of money, and how many are they? Those guys are going to want to buy that place. He's kind of stuck there. Even if he moves to a new compound, he's going to have to pay the bills on that place for like a year before they sell it, and somebody will likely just buy that place and bulldoze all the skate bullshit that they don't care about. So. Who knows? Yeah. I used to watch him a lot, but then I thought it got cheesy when he started getting swatted and, you know,
this is the Messiah, the second coming of like,
I don't understand what the swatting, like, how do you have a house that big and all these employees and nobody came and told you what was going on? The cops got to the door first. Like, shouldn't you have somebody that like, answers the door,
right?
Does something, security, something that would alert you, like, sorry, but there's police here and they want to talk to you. But I guess it was good for views that he let him just come right in the streaming room.
Absolutely good for views. That's what.
I mean, you can definitely put that theory out there for sure, but to have no one, like you said, and
it happened like twice, didn't it? It happened twice, I think. So after the first one, you didn't get a security guy to be down manning the doors in case that happened again?
He talks about personal security when he was making all his friends beg for their jobs. Like he was talking about how much money he pays in security for both him and his family when he had that public stream. Right?
Yeah.
And
well,
it's
listen,
like,
I got to tell you, if I had that kind of money, I would hire a former cop or former, veteran that really, knows how to work a pistol and whatever. I would hire if I had money, I'd hire like a badass because it would be fun. Like it would walk around and talk shit on people. Look, man, this guy will beat you to death if you hit me. It would be funny.
Just don't hire Wes Watson.
Right? Yeah, definitely not Wes Watson. Are you familiar with Wes Watson? Oh, he's a prison
Alpha
content
male
guy, red pill, alpha male coach type, life coach type dude. He talks about keystering stuff in prison and how they identified him by his butthole.
Nice.
Right?
That's talent. You can hide things in your asshole. You're a better man than me because I won't even try it. Sorry.
No, not for me either. But yeah, like that compound in West Virginia, I don't know how much he built on it, like if there's a bowl and all kinds of stuff, or if it's just like a concrete slab with like just different ramps and shit. But there's not gonna be, I'm not sure how much land is on it either. There's going to be tough to find someone.
Well, I don't know. I think I heard somewhere, and anybody can correct me, that it was $1 million to buy it in the first place, and then he put all this money in. So it's a pretty big investment to just walk away from, But I think best of luck to him. He strikes me as one of those entourage guys, though. Like all of his friends are working for him or living with him, and like he needs that. Yeah. He's that kind of person that needs to be that, I guess alpha male by proxy of paycheck.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what the guy we were showing you. He idolizes Tim Pool, and he wants so much to get noticed by someone on the right.
Who was it? Matt Christensen guy? Who was it that he was trying to get to be his co-host?
Hold on, I'll grab it. But he's like, you gotta make sure I don't embarrass you or some shit. But hold on, here we go. Here's French. He was talking about like the French Revolution and how they were all vampires.
And everybody called me crazy, and we're gonna find out it's true that they're vampires.
What about Kanye West? Oh, that's interesting you're talking about that, because I had a theory that the whole French Revolution was actually the peasants started to find out that the aristocrats were actually doing precisely doing rituals and drinking the blood of their children and abducting their children.
This guy sounds like
and then they found out about it, but some other history books tried to cover it up because they wanted it to stay in like a myth.
That's exactly it.
He doesn't have any original thoughts either. He just parrots anything and everything he's heard other people say that he thinks is like profound.
Well, I guess that's okay to do, but you should kind of think about it first and come up with your own opinions.
I think it's a lack of ability to do that, right? No self-awareness and no worldly awareness either.
I'm grabbing it. Scroll. Here, I'll throw this one up there.
Oh, too bad you didn't learn to be a tough guy yourself, Mr. Boston. I hope you got a suitcase packed. They're coming for you. Oy vey.
In other words, that's what they charged me with in the very first place.
Yeah, you better piss in my ass, Boston, or try, or otherwise you're a pussy. You're a pussy, Boston, if you don't try to piss in my ass.
What the fuck?
Running around sticking your finger in everyone's ass, telling them it's not gay. Come on, Boston. You're not fooling anyone.
I didn't plead down. It was an unwanted touching statute that I
Mac
pled
gets
guilty
it.
to.
Mac and cheese gets
That's
it.
it.
Oh, it was just a little unwanted touching, huh? Is that what happened? That was a mighty steep sentence.
Yeah, prove you're not a pussy and prove you're not gay, Boston, by trying to piss in my ass. Do it. I dare you. I'll push back into it. Does Guadalupe know you're in the bathhouses and the saunas? Yeah. You've been around tough guys, Boston? Yeah. 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 Tell me about all the tough guys you've been around, Boston. Aren't you a tough guy yourself, Boston? Like I keep saying, bro, you're not about that life, dude. You're not about that life, dude. Listen, I've been tested on the war front, bro. You're not about that life. I promise you're not about that life.
You both know what's about to come, right? You both know that I have the full records thanks to Larry. You both know that you've been.
Dude, how many times do I got to beg you to show up my door and tell me to shut my mouth and try to push my shit in? How many times have I begged you, Boston, to do that? Yet you keep asking me these stupid rhetorical questions like I haven't asked and answered, Boston. Don't piss in my strawberries. Try to piss in my ass this time, Boston. Try to piss in my ass, Boston. You freaking Fruit Loop.
Okay.
Right.
This is a guy that you're saying he's streaming for 18 hours a day. Who can take 18 minutes of this fucking guy, let alone 18 hours of this fucking guy?
He has a group of 5 to 7 that sits and watches him that whole time.
Well, there's proof that anybody can get an audience. There you go.
Okay, so you want to hit Lazar in Area 51 since we got the king conspiracist.
Hold on, I found it.
Okay.
I found it. The whatever dude he's trying to reach out to. I don't even know who this guy is.
He needs a blonde personality, which is a little rough around the edges, says things that make people go, ooh. He needs me, is what he needs. Matt Christensen, you need me on your show.
Oh, that's desperate.
You know, I have to be real
Let's
careful.
do this on a live stream
And
get
try
somebody
not to
for
go
a job
overly
publicly.
crazy to maybe get you
Like a lunatic.
you know, taking away your show. And that's not my goal. Of course it's not my goal. Anyway, long story short, let's do this. Let's go here.
Then what's the other dude that he was always trying to simp for? The gay motorcycle guy. Fuck, what's his name? The other, he's like another like religious dude.
Glenn.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Glenn Lawrence.
Is that it? Okay, yeah.
Or Andrew.
Oh, Andrew, I think. Andrew. Well, I mean, that's kind of Todd's range. We could start talking about Jews too, Wally, and then we'll just cover all his talking points at one point.
That's not good.
That's all he's got. Everything, anyone that speaks out against him is a communist and a Jew. Like, if you don't blindly follow and agree with him. Pretty sad. So what part of Lazar you want to start with?
I mean, I really don't know. Like, I you know, I can give a synopsis for people who aren't aware of the story. In 1980, so in 19, well, we'll start with a little bit of a prequel. In 1988, George Knapp, who was a Las Vegas investigative reporter, and was only ever known in Las Vegas. Nobody outside of Las Vegas ever heard of him, knew who he was, or anything. But he started this Sunday morning talk show, and one day he booked John Lear, And the ratings for that Sunday morning shit talk show on local television went crazy, like through the roof, and the phones wouldn't stop ringing. So George Knapp knew that he had found a big cash cow. And on one of his original appearances, John Lear talked about a secret base off of Area 51, on Area 51, but away from the main Area 51 proper, that was housing and studying captured or crashed alien spaceships, and that there was 9 of them, or maybe he might have said 8 or 10 of them, and that there were some scientists there that were back engineering the alien spacecraft. So fast forward some time, and Bob Lazar goes with a guy named George Huff to John Lear's house to do a real estate appraisal, which makes no sense because later they would claim that he's a senior staff level physicist. If you're a senior staff level physicist, you've got a little more important things to do than go hold a tape measure and help somebody take pictures to do a real estate appraisal, because John Lear was rich and had a huge mansion of a house. This wasn't a small job. It was like an all-day thing. But reportedly, as the story goes, Gene Huff was very interested in UFOs and aliens. And so they made a deal in which Gene Huff, who had a real estate appraisal, real estate appraisal business, would just do the real estate appraisal for John Lear. And in exchange, John Lear would copy all of his alien photos and his videos and documentaries on aliens and give them to Gene Huff. And at the time, all that stuff could fit in like a box. It wasn't like now with the explosion of information. And included in that were, importantly, included in that trouch of UFO related material was all the Billy Meyer material, which will become important later. So this is Bob Lazar just meets John Lear after he's on this talk show talking about alien spacecraft. And so fast forward 6 more months, and Bob Lazar goes to John Lear and says, I got a job at Area 51, and I'm going to be working on flying saucers. It's just so stupid and bizarre that anybody would believe that this would just happen out of chance. And so then George Knapp gets Bob Lazar to come on, first in shadow with a fake name, talking about, oh, I worked on alien spaceships at Area 51. And then the second interview, he revealed his identity. But there's huge problems with this because even George Knapp admits his education is totally fake. He never went to MIT. He never went to Caltech. There's no Men in Black erased his background, because if that were true, they'd have to sneak into everybody's dirty, dusty attic and basement and steal out the yearbooks, erase Bob Lazar or any mention of them, and then make a new one without the Bob Lazar, put them all back, age them. It's just ridiculous. And legally, you know, a university can't, even under, I guess, federal orders, comply to just erase somebody's degree. They'd have huge lawsuits on their hands. So his education is fake. He claimed he was, and you'll see so many people, articles, clickbait headlines, former government scientist says. They always call him a former government scientist, and he was never a scientist. He was a low-level electronics technician, and he was never... he never worked for the government that we know of. There's no verifiable proof that he ever worked for the government. So Bob Lazar tells an incredible story that he was recruited. He flew into the Area 51, the most secret base on Earth. He rapidly got cleared to work at the most secret place on Earth. And there's some huge problems with that, which I'll circle back to. But his essential story is that he got recruited, he flew in on Janet Airlines, and then they would put him in a bus and drive him several miles out to this so-called S4 facility, which was like a James Bond facility, because there was hangar bay doors that they painted and textured like sand so that they would just, be camouflaged from Russian satellites, and nobody could see that this was a hangar facility. And, there was 9 spaceships in these hangar facilities, but he only got to work on one. And he claims that these spaceship ran on some crazy element 115 that bears no resemblance to the real element 115. It's basically magic, because you can bombard it with protons and then it creates anti-gravity and unlimited free energy at the same time. This is science fiction. And so, George Knapp, he leaned into this story because I mentioned he was only known as a local Las Vegas reporter. Nobody outside of Las Vegas knew who he was. But this story went viral before the internet, before there was an internet, but it went viral all over the world. There was Japanese people flying into the United States to make documentaries about this, and Bob was supposed to go do an interview with them. There was just all over Europe, people were talking about the story. It just blew up and got huge. And Bob Lazar tried to cash in every chance he could get. First, he made a VHS tape, and he advertised it in the back of science magazines. And I'm one of those people that bought it. It's a total ripoff because all he talks about in that is basically science fiction. So the gist of the Bob Lazar story is it sounds great. Wow, a scientist, and he gets recruited, and they show him a real alien flying saucer, and he works on the propulsion system, trying to back engineer it or help them figure it out. But it just doesn't work, because the truth is that Bob Lazar was like bankrupt at the time he claimed, right previous to the time that he claimed to work at Area 51. He was bankrupt. And I mentioned his education is completely and totally fake. And then there's another complication, and that is his wife at the time was a convicted murderer, and she had very strong ties to the Hells Angels, which is organized crime. And this was the height of the Cold War. So having financial problems precludes you from getting clearance to work on sensitive or even anything. Yeah, because you'd be a security risk. There's all these Russian spies, Chinese spies. They could easily bribe you, right? Or, especially if you have financial problems, and then add to that, you have a wife connected to organized crime. I talked to several people who did those clearance checks, and both of them said there's no way he ever would have stepped foot on Area 51 with this kind of background. And then, of course, after his story comes out, he makes a bunch of money on those VHS tapes. And as the story goes, he decides that the best way to help his credibility is to invest in a whorehouse. So he takes all his initial UFO money from everybody, I guess, from everybody sending in $29.95 for this VHS tape, and he invests it in a whorehouse. And then the funny thing is he tells George Knapp about the whorehouse, and George Knapp rats him out to the cops. George Knapp calls the cops, is like, this is what's going on.
Journalistic integrity.
Yeah, he knows he's got to shut it down. I've convinced him he's going to be shutting it down, but the cops didn't care. They arrested Bob and the madam and some of the whores, and so Bob caught a felony charge of pandering, because although prostitution is legal in the state of Nevada, not within the city, it's not legal within the city confines of Las Vegas.
Yeah, there's only one county it's legal.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So Bob Lazar is now, we know for a fact that he is a liar who lies about going to prestigious universities he's never been to. We know that his wife was a convicted murderer. We know that he was bankrupt right before he came out with his story. And we also know, due to some excellent research by a blogger researcher named Signals Intelligence, that he lied. He did work at Los Alamos, but he lied when he said he was a physicist there, because a researcher got to the people who were actually like his bosses, and each of them said, no, he was an electronics technician. He was never a scientist or a physicist there, especially not
a subcontractor.
Yeah, and a subcontractor for Kirk Meyer, who only hired low-level technicians, janitors, cleaning people, things like that. So Bob just lived this fantasy world where he even told a newspaper reporter, I'm a staff physicist there. And the newspaper reporter didn't check if he actually was a physicist, just took him at his word. So that's one of the prover maneuvers. Well, the newspaper said he was a physicist there. Well, three of his fellow coworkers there all said he was never a physicist there. And this, of course, aligns with his known education, because his known education is that he took one course in electronics at Pierce Junior College. And the kind of person that takes one course at Pierce Junior College could get hired as a low-level electronics tech. He would be the kind of guy that when the scientists spill coffee on their keyboard, they call him and he brings them a new keyboard. Like, it's not even like really electronics. It's more like, he was a tech monkey. That's what he was. He was like a tech guy monkey for the,
wouldn't even
for the
let
real
him
smart
do,
guys. Yeah.
I mean, he was smart enough to start selling hijacked cable boxes, I guess. I mean,
yes, he did run a shady operation where he was, back in the day, you have to explain to the kids, there was cable boxes and you had to pay for each extra channel you wanted or for different packages, but somebody figured out that you could burn a chip in an EEPROM burner and then put it into the box, and you would get all the paid channels and you would never have to pay for it. This is called a hot box. So he was selling hot boxes for a while, and then
no more jumbled porn.
Yeah, and then reportedly remember Cinemax when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Cinemax, yes.
Just keep changing the channel. 11, eventually, you're going to see a titty or something, right? Back and forth until you saw the
like a half a second before it scrambled. Yeah.
Squinting and shit.
Yeah, we had to work for jerking off when I was a kid. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so. And so basically,
whoa.
I'll get it.
Okay.
I was going to say George Knapp continued to sell the story for many years until it just kind of fizzled out and no one had much interest anymore. But then along comes Jeremy Corbell, who's about as credible as a crackhead holding a gas can, asking you for gas money to get home. That's about how credible that guy is. And he picks up the story and makes a new documentary, which, by the way, it's now free on Tubi, I think. Ad supported, but it's free. And it's not worth the free, but it is what it is. So essentially, Jeremy Corbell just retells the whole story with no or almost no new information at all. Then I caught Jeremy Corbell in some huge lies with that documentary because he claimed that the FBI raided Bob's business to get the Element 115, the mysterious magic flying saucer fuel. And
the real story is cool, though.
The real story is even stranger in that I talked to the police that were there. I talked to the local sheriff. I talked to the FBI. They were there because Bob Lazar was selling dangerous chemicals, and I always get this wrong. It's either thorium or thallium. I don't know. One of those two rare earth elements. One of them is slightly radioactive. So allegedly, somebody was ordering this poisonous material from Bob Lazar's business and then murdered his wife with it, allegedly. So they were there doing the murder investigation. They were there to get the sales records tying that person who was using that dangerous chemical on his wife to the purchases at Bob's business, United Nuclear. And as all good grifters do, they used that as an opportunity to grift. They were like, oh no, they weren't here for a routine murder investigation. They were here to get the flying saucer fuel that Bob stole out of Area 51. And it's just so stupid. And they also lied. They said there was like 40 or 50 people. There was 11 people. And I talked to 4 or 5 of those 11. And then there was also the lie that these guys were surveilling them the day before. One of the police officers I talked to didn't even know that Bob made up this story or whatever. He just was like, yeah, he's a science geek guy. He lives in the town. He sells stupid science shit on the internet. I don't know. He didn't even know about the documentary or the flying saucer stories or any of that. And he was kind of surprised to find out that somebody in his town, this was one of the local cops, kind of surprised to find out that somebody in his local town was selling material that you could murder somebody with, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, his glassware business was pretty...
Yes. And then there is the myth of it has been said, and as the legend goes, that Bob... Allegedly, Bob Lazar's business, which sells scientific equipment, okay? Very serious. They sell scientific equipment. But allegedly, Bob's business is the largest supplier of glassware to meth labs in the United States and several foreign countries, which is awesome, right? If you need to cook up some meth, you call Bob Lazar. So, when we start looking at this character with a wider lens, we go, is this really a genius level scientist that was so amazing at propulsion systems that the government brought him in and showed him the goodies? I just don't think so.
I wanted to right, and I wanted to hoist the idea, because I've never heard anybody really say it, is just like with the Roswell crash, the OSS and then the CIA just let the myth run because of the signals intelligence balloons that was the real thing going on there. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
sometimes they let things. Sometimes they let things go because it benefits their operation, and certainly.
Oh, I mean, that's the world I came out of. That I know. I know that it can be done, and I was wondering if anybody really thought that Bob was just allowed to run rampant and make money off of this.
Yeah, and then it
keep
would
eyes off
benefit
because it was F-117 time. It was
the
Acid
stealth
Blue
fighters.
time.
Yeah. It was just they were developing and testing the stealth fighters and bombers on Area 51. So maybe better to let people think it's alien spaceships. And also,
I mean, it's the same way with my life in the drone world.
That's the height of the Cold War.
Still
so
think it.
Why not never deny or call this guy a crackpot? They never did. They never stepped in and said, he never worked at Area 51. And they could have if they wanted to.
Right.
They could have set the whole record straight. They let this thing go super viral. And sometimes I've thought about, if I was in charge of that whole situation during the height of the Cold War, would I want our adversaries to worry a little bit that maybe we have some out of this world technology that we could weaponize against them? Fuck yeah. So maybe. And there's also a theory that he was a goober for the CIA, that, in other words, they get some guy, they did it to Benowitz, they get a guy and they pump him up full of alien information and then they set him loose, right? And then he goes and tells all the stories, and they let him make some money because he's telling the stories, and they let him monetize the whole thing. Man. Yeah, Benowitz. Yeah, he was another one.
I mean, he ended up in an institution, but he got straight, so that was.
Yeah, he ended up. The government literally drove Benowitz crazy with alien and conspiracy disinformation. So we know they do it. We know they do that kind of stuff.
Right. So for those that don't know, and you can add more color here, but Benowitz, the NSA actually gave this guy a computer and made it look like there was implanted alien language in it. And so he was running with it.
Yeah. And they took him, and they also, so much of the alien and UFO mythology and lore came from the Benowitz case, because they took him over to Dulce in an airplane and told him that was an alien base. So suddenly everybody's talking about Dulce as a secret underground base, and they're doing all these nefarious experiments. That all came from government disinformation. They planted that into the public discourse. The government planted that, all of that stuff. So anytime you hear any nut job talking about Dulce base, that's kind of a test to go, oh, you fell for that one from the government psyop, you dumbass. They put that in. They originated all of that with Richard Doty. It's crazy.
Exactly.
And we do know from historical examples that the United States government actively both promotes and sort of encourages alien stories when it benefits them. When people were seeing the SR-71 Blackbird being test flown, they'd fly it, I think, all the way across the country because it could do that kind of speed, like in not a lot of time. And people were seeing this strange, dark aircraft and thinking it was a flying saucer. They let people believe it was it might be aliens, And they did the same thing with the U-2, B2. The F-117, the B-2. They do more even. I think they float some of the stories even more so than they just encourage them or allow them, And in some cases, I understand there's got to be a need for secrecy when you're testing secret projects. So I don't blame them for lying to us about, we're testing this stealth technology that nobody else, I mean, to my knowledge, I think the Chinese are starting to crack it and the Russians are terrible at it, but
a little bit. Yeah. They don't know how to.
They don't know how to quite do it yet. Yeah. So we have the cornered technology on stealth bombs and stealth fighters. And when all your air defense systems are literally helpless against an aircraft like that, that's a major advantage. So yeah.
If you want some comedy in your life, watch Habitual Line Crosser. He has a couple of stealths in there. It's just good fun stuff. But I was gonna talk about the cattle mutilations too, because so what the government did is they wanted to frack using nuclear weapons. So they forgot where it was, but they actually dropped some nukes down into some oil wells and
I think I've heard this before. Yeah. So then they were testing the cow. They were testing the cow organs,
the lymph nodes out and everything.
To see what the radiation level was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we have 10,000 year half-life oil sitting in a freaking cavern. So, and that also goes
What's the worst that could happen.
Yeah. And Operation Plowshare, where we were gonna nuke from Cairo across the Med to make us not so dependent on the Suez.
Oh, that's something. That's major. That's a major landscaping project.
yeah. Just put a bunch of nukes down, So,
fracking. It's good for the environment. Great. It's great for the local wildlife, stuff like that. I mean, the Malaysia plane that vanished into a portal from UAPs circling it. What?
Oh, the Malaysian. No, that was Photoshop. The Malaysian Airlines. That was. It's from 2 satellites. Nah.
Right?
What was that? 743.
You talking Malaysia, or are you talking the actual the vanishing aircraft? Because I don't know anything about that.
Oh no, not that. The MH370, you mean?
Malaysian flight.
Yeah, 370.
The one that disappeared, 370.
Yeah, there's this whole conspiracy of the teleporting, and it's all fake videos that originated from a fake video YouTube channel. But there are people that are still running and promoting it. It's very profitable.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it. You can look at, I did 20 years of imagery analysis.
There's been at least 10 different CGI. There's been at least 10 different CGI experts that went through and verified that it's CGI, it's fake, it was all constructed. So I don't understand, though. There's still some people that just refuse to, believe that the videos are fake, so they keep pushing it. And most of the people pushing it are making money off of pushing it, so that explains the mystery of, they're not stupid. It makes money. Yes, I still have the VHS tape. Yes, and I digitized it, and it's on my channel. It's called Bob Lazar and the Government Bible, and you can watch it. And every once in a while, though, I get a music copyright claim, and I have to cut some music from it. But I think it's more or less intact the way that I got it. And I figured, I don't even know that I have it monetized now. Maybe I took the monetization off. But it was on for a while because I wanted to get my $30 back. It got ripped off, and that's the least Bob could do is give me my money back. I was talking about the documentary.
You couldn't call him and ask him, say, "Hey, man,
I could,
$30 back."
Yeah, but
he might not talk to you.
That's the whole story only works because the people selling you the Bob Lazar story, they only give you half of it. They only give you half of the story.
Mm-hmm.
If they give you the half that I talked about tonight, then you'll go, oh, this guy was a bankrupt loser criminal, you know, like a flim flam guy. He's selling hot boxes. He's running whorehouses. This is not a credible scientist that we should believe when he says he worked on alien flying saucers. So the story works by the lie by omission. If you're going to sell it, you just leave out the parts that he ran a whorehouse, that he was bankrupt, that his wife was a convicted murderer, you know, that he was having all these financial problems, that he lied about his education, that he lied about being a physicist. Just leave all that out and you can sell the story and it sounds good. And by the way, somebody is making another documentary that's pro Bob really did work on those flying saucers. I can't remember the name of the production company, but they've been at it for a while working on it. And
Is it that like production company started by the doctor and
yeah, and they're doing like a VR walkthrough. You could walk through the secret base with the flying saucers in it and things like that. It's
well, I mean, and it's all based on chariots of the gods, which has been disproven so many times.
Yeah, because Zechariah Sitchin never had any. He couldn't speak Sumerian. He couldn't translate Sumerian, but somehow he claimed to. You know.
Yeah.
So it's all based on mistranslations by
the one who
artist.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. He didn't mail it. He called the cops, or did he mail it?
It was thallium. Yeah, he mailed it across state lines. Yes.
Well, nice. So what do you think about the drones? What do you mean, power band? You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
He's probably talking about the New Jersey drone. Yeah, the New Jersey drone flap is most likely. Well, I listen. You know, people email me and message me and all the time and go like, you got to look into this, Stephen. And so I started looking into it, and I'm only right in Pennsylvania. It's right over the bridge from me. Every case that I looked into was a misidentified regular aircraft. And I looked into, and I mean, really looked into 10 of them. And I even had, I'm not going to name him, but he's another guy that was a show host. And he sent me a video all excited in the middle of that and said, I just took this video. This is a car-sized giant quadcopter flying right over my house. And so I look at the video and I'm clearly hearing helicopter noise in the video. There's a distinct difference between the high-pitched whine of drones and a helicopter noise. And I have good ears.
Even the big drone,
I might have good ears because I'm literally half blind. I'm sure that my hearing has improved, especially with headphones. So I'm listening to it. I'm like, that's a helicopter. I go to Flight Radar and I ask him, what time did you film this? And he tells me, and he forgot that he had given me his address. I didn't even ask him for his address because I had it. I said, this was right over your house. This is where you filmed this, right? He said, yes. So we go to Flight Radar. There's a police helicopter right above his house at the exact time and date that he said he filmed this, and he still wouldn't believe me. He's like, no, it wasn't a helicopter. I'm like, well, then where's the helicopter in the footage that you took? Because we know, we have the record. I think it was a case of mass hysteria. And isn't it interesting? As soon as the media stopped talking about the drones in New Jersey, everybody stopped seeing them. I don't think that's a coincidence. And so I also saw a lot of Orion's Belt. People were sending me Orion's Belt saying these are 3 drones that have been hovering above my house. And these are people in that town in New Jersey. So we go to Stellarium, which is another piece of software you could use. The first thing that you have to do is eliminate prosaic explanations. Like, I was sure I was seeing something really strange over my cabin, and it turned out to be the planet Jupiter, you know? But it looked so big and so bright in the sky. I was like, that's not a fucking star, and that's not a fucking satellite. What is and it was, you could tell it was moving, but it was moving like, so, you know, you wait an hour and go, it would move a tiny little bit. So
you don't have that background radiation out there, so you get to see it. And
that's also the cabin is at a very super high. It's the highest elevation in the state of Pennsylvania,
Oh,
So
nice.
just by nature of that, you're going to see stuff in the sky a little better. Yeah, but it turned out to be just the planet Jupiter. So in the case of the New Jersey drones, I think it was a lot of mass hysteria. People were sending me flapping. I got a couple of flapping birds that were clearly flapping birds. I got.
We can't say
Birds aren't
flapping
real, sir.
birds here. We can't say flapping birds here. No,
Birds aren't real.
That's a very dark
What?
part of the lore.
Can I hear that? What?
There's a man in a shed sending videos of himself. It's a bad thing.
It's easy to confuse helicopters for drones. No, so yeah, I think that was one of those cases I didn't even want to cover, but I had to because everybody kept asking me about it. So I looked into a bunch of them, and I got a couple flapping birds, I got a bunch of stars, and I got a whole lot of airplanes and helicopters off in the distance. But I don't believe that I saw even one genuine video of a drone, consumer grade or otherwise. Every video that I looked at and really did an analysis on was something very ordinary.
Have you seen like the hoverboards that people are riding, like flying around on now? That shit is crazy.
Yeah, like those are cool.
I don't think I've seen any
I
hoverboards.
just don't want to trip and fall into one of the blades. 'cause it
Propellers,
hurts.
right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. It's these. Oh, I got it right.
They need to do a ducted fan.
Need to do something. That's like. Hold on.
There was just a story on NBC Nightly News of a guy with a hover car, and it's basically looks like a drone that you sit in.
This is
Bob Lazar's.
Oh, this is what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen these, but
yeah,
right.
I would think these are pretty. One of the things they don't tell you is that this thing's got a 4-minute flight time.
Right.
Or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, you ever see those old jetpacks? I was convinced when I was a kid, I was like, I don't care what it costs. I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to build one of these someday. And
Yeah.
I really did
just
look
like
into
that.
it. I really did look into it. And you could $10,000-$20,000, maybe you could reasonably build one of those jetpacks. But the problem is it has like a 1 or 2 minute flight time. So what good is it? You know? And it's the same thing with these kind of
jump over a wall and you got to take all this shit off. And
look great, but if it's only a couple of minute flight time, you know, still cool though. But they got to crack.
once they get the plutonium pack,
Yeah,
dude,
they need
we'll be
a
all right.
super lightweight power source, especially.
Yeah.
Most of these are all electric, you know.
Yeah.
This is pretty fucking keno right here. This thing.
Oh, I've seen this too. Yeah.
Yeah, we were working on those when I was doing strategic.
That's some
capability.
GI Joe kind of shit, man.
Yeah, it's just
right.
It's just unwieldy. I get the point.
Yeah, GI Joe's was like a lot more compact. You know.
Yeah.
It's like this thing's got these hand jets.
Right. And then you got to steer with your hands. And I don't know. It seems like a lot to me, and it's going to be in the way. I don't. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I bet you
maneuvering
is. I bet you if you fall in the water with that thing on, you're fucked. So these guys are
That's
pretty
probably
brave
like
for even doing this.
all the seals that fucking died like recently that drowned out of nowhere. That's probably something. No, I'm kidding. Joking. No, like
Dark humor.
right. But definitely not. But that because they're electric, so that backpack's a battery. That thing's so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
So heavy. And then you better hope you charged it right and it doesn't have a dead cell and the thing burst into flames. Like, because that's type of fire that doesn't get put out. That's for sure. Like, oh man.
Man, my
and then it's
legs
just
are
like
tired.
hanging there.
There you go.
Right.
And
at that point, you might
moving
as
to
well
contact.
put the exoskeleton on.
Yeah, that thing looks very heavy. It's probably like 150 pounds or something.
Right.
Still cool.
And unfortunately, there's not.
Yeah, I'll get on it.
Right? There's that crate, like they have a lot of wild stuff in Dubai. Like people are dying over there all the time on like the drones and shit like that. Let's see.
Yeah, I think they're going to have like automated, like self-driving drones that can fly you from one part of the city to the other, or they're trying to do that in Dubai. And they're a little light on the regulations. So people are just like, the things are tumbling from the sky and people are dying in them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
That's weird.
They have
It's a Ryobi.
Oh, buddy, if you got the Ryobi and not the Milwaukee, you made the wrong decision. Apparently, they had a jetpack race in Dubai. Like,
But it's all these hand type jetpacks, not the old school.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
15 horsepower suits.
No, 1,500 horsepower, 1,500 horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that's what I said.
Yeah. Oh, you said. I think you said 15, maybe.
That's what I heard.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, we're not dependent on your hearing, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know.
See,
They
I don't know
must,
why I
use,
piped
they
up.
must either use a jet engine or some kind of like turboprop.
I thought it was they were
thing, 'cause-
battery, but it says they take the same kind of fuel as they take airplane
Aircraft.
fuel.
Yeah, so they just take
Oh
airplane
yeah,
fuel.
yeah. So they're just like the model jet.
Right. Shit is.
I see you, buddy.
Like,
I see you.
What's up, Beast Mode?
what's up?
Can you
Beast Mode?
imagine hitting one of those freaking pylons?
Yeah.
Dude, there's so much at risk here. Like, and they're just going with
Yeah.
one.
Well, I mean, based on the way those guys are flying those things around, they must be fairly advanced and safe and tested already. This isn't like a first generation prototype where there'd be people tumbling all over the water, you know. It looks like it works pretty good.
That's for sure. Like they're having a good time. I mean,
I would
it.
love to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody
Over
wants
something
to
soft.
experience that feeling of flying. That would be fucking awesome.
Not over water. I'm sorry.
A foam pit, yeah, but not the water. No, sir. I would definitely rock out with a foam pit. Let me see. The water drone or the water thing that has the jets
the
coming out
water
of the
jet.
bottom of it too. Yeah. That's not really too much or too advanced or new, I guess. There's also a flying bike, like
that
I've seen this
I would
one as
rock
well,
with
yeah.
that if it would.
This would be
stay up
fun.
for-
This would be fun as hell at my cabin, even if it didn't go too high. Just blasting through the trails right over all the quad runners.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like just blowing the shit out of the side by sides and stuff as you fly past them. I want like how fast does it go? That's what I want. Oh, all for the low
40
price of
minutes.
770.
40-minute runtime.
777. $777,000.
$750,000. Well, if you got Tony Stark money, like this is not a big deal, or Bruce Wayne money,
Yeah.
right? This is not a big deal.
It only
I'll wait
does
for the
62
It only does
miles an
62
hour.
miles an hour. Yeah.
Right, like my dirt bike when I was 10 did faster than that.
Yeah, my 70 would do faster than that.
Right, that's what I mean. Like that's not very. It's nothing too extraordinaire. This was holy shit. This was 8 years ago.
Yeah, so they're probably a lot further along now.
What?
Look, USAID money paid for a lot of things for people like me.
Fuck that shit. Like.
Oh, these?
All right. Yeah, like these jetpacks, or I don't even know what to call this, like, other than wishing for
Batwing.
death, right? I'll show you a bat wing, damn it.
Yeah, that one looks the most
I would do that.
dangerous. That one,
Because surely they have on.
this looks like,
parachutes.
dude. I bet you all of these dudes that are building this shit watch GI Joe, because that looks like some GI Joe shit from when we were kids. Like,
Yes,
grab
absolutely.
some rocket
Even
to the
the
wing right on the back of the GI Joe. You know.
Yeah, even the planes are GI Joe colors. For goodness sake, there was nothing tactical about the colors.
It looks fun, but I think they have to parachute when they're done or something.
Yeah.
Right? It's
got
You ain't landing that motherfucker, you know.
belly land.
seems like a heavier squirrel suit. You know what I like?
Yeah, I like those flight squirrel suits. I'd love to try that one day. But every time you see somebody doing it, he's doing it over mountains, looking like he could die any second. So no, thank you.
The squirrel suits are. I've done the squirrel suit. It's fun.
Right, and the ones that are like always trying to thread the needle or get as close as they can to the ground.
I've never done anything like that. It is open.
I want to know what like motors these do, like, because it's not
Those
just
are-
gliding at this point; they're fucking flying.
Oh,
so-
Yeah, those are the turbo fans that they use on the big RC planes.
Okay,
So
okay.
they're jet engines. There's four of them, I think.
I haven't checked in with him forever, but I had a friend that was way into RC stuff, and he swore he was going to build a real RC jet, but I don't know if he ever got to that. I don't know if you can. I don't know.
You can't. They sell them and you can buy them. Like some of the big RC jets are like $40,000 to buy 'em.
That's crazy. Yeah.
They're because I do like
there's the
trucks, but nothing like that. No.
This has to be like some other country's Blue Angels or something, right?
It's Dubai.
Right?
Oh, it's
There's
Dubai.
on it.
Yeah. Alpha Jet and Human Flight and Beyond.
Yeah, who's ever run in Dubai, they do a lot of events like this. They're really trying to put Dubai on the map as like super high tech. And that's where all the crypto scammers live.
Yeah.
And that's, if you're a criminal, it's like the perfect place to live, you know?
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's where Eric Prince went to. Just saying. Shout out Blackwater and them.
Blackwater is fun. Dubai firefighters launch water jetpack. Like, y'all are just being ridiculous now. Like, this shit don't make no sense. Like,
Yeah, I've seen those water jetpacks. That looks kind of gay. You're just like squirting water down so fast that you stay up in the air.
Yeah.
here's like, what is?
Oh my
come
God.
on. Like, hold on, wait, because there's a fire on the bridge, and just wait. Look,
Why isn't he shirtless? And you know how firefighters be.
right? Why isn't it like Baywatch? It should be Baywatch, shouldn't
Can't hear
it?
you.
Like,
There you go,
Baywatch.
Baywatch.
like,
You're
come on,
ruining
we used to say-
Scotto's freaking fantasy here.
Like,
favorite
okay, so
strain
this
of
is
weed is
super practical. Now you need to dive into the water.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck? dude? What the actual fuck?
It's
Come
water
on.
jet gay man. Yes.
And then how is it like the pressure of the hose? Like, how much he's got to fucking fight it to stay balanced? It would be so Keno if he just like smashed into the rail on the bridge, tumbled down. Oh man. All right. You want to get back to Lazar? It was a great ADD rabbit hole. Piglet saved from fire by Russian firefighters. I don't believe you at all. Russian firefighters.
see.
Anything with
Likely
Russia seems like
story, yes.
disinformation. That's just me, though.
Yeah. Let's see. I was gonna. we can look at slide 2. Billy Myers craft description.
Hold on. Angel Gamer gifted 5 memberships. Angel, sorry, that was way long ago. I threw it up, but then I didn't sit. So thank you, Angel Gamer. Lupe, this is your milestone chat trademark, and her favorite strain of weed is Blackwater.
I never heard of that.
Right. And then Steve, what do you think about Dr. Stephen Greer?
Oh, we've covered this guy so much. Actually, if you want one of the funniest videos on him, I can put it in the live chat. He is just for 30. I'll tell you what all right, so there's 2 things I think about him. He's a greasy scumbag lying grifter. I think that. But then I also think he is one of the best grifters out there, because he has made millions and millions of dollars off of total horseshit, fake stories, and fake people forever. Like he's been at this for 3 decades, and he has been very successful to the point of making millions of dollars. You got to admire that a little bit, like an empire built on bullshit, right?
Yeah. I mean, it beats standing on your feet in orthopedic surgery, right? That's what
I used to do really in-depth debunks of him, but lately, just what he says is so stupid. I'll put this link in the private chat. This is my favorite of his stories. People paid like $300 to go to this special event that he had, and he was going to have these whistleblowers, blowing the whistle about the aliens, and they all turned out to be like losers with, no real evidence or anything, just storytelling bullshit artists. But then he tells this one story about this ultra top secret base that one of his whistleblowers gave him all the intel and information on, and it's just so stupid and so ridiculous, because according to Dr. Stephen Greer, there's this huge row of porta potties, and then the underground bases down below under the ground, and then everybody just parks their cars outside where the porta potties are. I don't know, but I made this video.
Is this Get Smart?
This is my favorite of his stupid stories. I put it in the live chat. You might.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the best Stephen Greer story ever.
Did you? It started at this point. Is that where you wanted to start?
No. You could go to the beginning of it.
Okay.
I don't know why. Yeah.
That must have been me. Then I already started watching it. All right.
No worries. Oh, you gotta have that copyright disclaimer.
He also was read into and had the chief scientist show him the location, which
this is another thing. There's these illustrations in this thing, and you see that thing in the background? I think those are porta potties. I'm not sure, but I think they're porta potties. They're porta potties. And according to these illustrations, there's these secret underground bases that are big enough for like hundreds of people to work in. And apparently they're so secret that the government just lets everybody park their car right outside the secret base. And listen, if you got to take a dump, there's porta potties outside the secret underground bases. So if you got to listen, sometimes maybe you just got to be driving to work. You got to take a big dump, and maybe they don't have bathrooms in the underground secret alien bases where they're working on the alien spacecraft. They have such technology that they can back engineer alien spacecraft, but they can't figure out how to put a bathroom in that bitch underground. Instead, they got porta potties all along the back row. This base is ultra top secret. It is housing the most secret things on planet Earth. The greatest secrets of the United States shadow cabal, black budget government, the deep state. It's the most secret base of the deep state. But we're going to.
USAID paid for those porta potties, and everyone gets to smell the blue goo. The work in such a prestigious area. This dude, like
he paid somebody to draw these illustrations with fucking
true.
porta potties. Top side of the secret base. And they can back engineer alien technology, but they can't put a bathroom in that base. You got to go topside and take a shit. And he didn't see this as a plot hole or a problem.
A 1,300 square mile underground facility at Dugway at that. You wouldn't want to be underground at Dugway. There's some nasty stuff there.
I could imagine, yeah.
1,300 square miles. That's fucking huge.
But they don't have room for a bathroom, so you got to go upstairs to shit.
And
they used all the cement for fucking the structure.
Yeah. They didn't have any
It's
left.
not like this isn't a giant, like, just, hey, look here's like, come on.
Just follow the smell. I mean,
But people are they want to believe so bad that like all common sense goes out the fucking window.
Yeah, but sometimes it comes down to presentation too. This guy's he's a doctor, like a former medical doctor. He's wearing a suit and tie. He says he has all these government insiders with top secret information, and they're giving it to him. And then this is what he gives you when you pay $300 to show up to one of his stupid events, And then also, it bears noting that his last couple documentaries he's making with these guys, Third Phase of Moon, which if you're unaware, Third Phase of Moon is the hokiest UFO fake video channel on YouTube and has been for a decade. So it doesn't really say credible that the guys that you're making your documentaries with are the guys that faked more UFO and alien videos on YouTube than anybody on Earth.
Worse than MUFON.
Yeah. MUFON is a joke on its own.
Yeah.
Terrible. It's MUFON's a money scam. Like, give us $150 and you can call yourself a UFO investigator for us. And they give you a little certificate and whatever. John Ventry, I was friendly with before he went and got himself kind of canceled for being a total racist. He was trying to get me to do that because he was my Pennsylvania state director and he'd been on my show a few times. And I'm like, no, thank you. Because they do nothing with all that money. Like, somebody went and investigated a case for them and they got metal samples that a craft apparently dropped. And then he was like, where do you want me to send the metal samples to? Where are we getting them tested? Oh, we're not going to spend money for that. Like, you're supposed to be investigating UFOs. You might have physical evidence here. You might want to get it analyzed for a few $100s. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on your memberships, but they didn't want to do it. Yeah, MUFON's another kind of a joke. And then there's all these new organizations now that people have propped up to try to cash in on UFOs. There's UFO nonprofits. There's UFO University. We have Ubiquitous University. You can pay I think it's $16,000 to get a fake PhD in UAP studies or something. And we've got this guy
Grift is real.
Ryan Graves has his Americans for Safe Aerospace, but they keep misidentifying like satellites as UFOs or UAPs, so they're no experts. And they're trying to get government contracts, I think. And then, everybody's got a documentary deal, a television show deal, a book deal, or something. So it kind of shows that the majority of all the UFO stuff is just very profit driven. And we can just circle back to Greer and saying that he has verifiably crowdfunded just for his documentaries at least $3 or $4 million. And that's what he, crowdfunded for the documentaries. Right. Then he puts out the documentaries and you got to pay for them. So, this guy has made so much money. That's why I joke about him being a greasy, lying scumbag grifter. But in some sense, you got to have some respect for that kind of ability to just lie for decades for the cash and he's great.
Yeah. I mean, but History Channel has propped him up, and did Netflix do a documentary with him?
I think that I don't know, his last a couple of his documentaries were on Netflix, so he got like a deal to put it on there. You know, like they give you a bunch of money. Yeah. And then the ones that he got on Netflix, he had already crowdfunded $1 million to make each one of them. So this dude is just grabbing the UFO dollars. The UFO community basically gave him $1 million to make the film, and then he went and put it on Netflix and got a big cash out. Eventually, they're all on YouTube free with ads, but he gets money from the ads. Right. It's just, and of course he runs these very expensive events where he's supposed to have superpowers and be able to summon aliens and alien spaceships with his superpower mind or something. He calls it CE5. I call it Gimme 5, but it's really Give Me 10. He sells the app on the App Store for $10, and you too can learn to summon aliens and UFOs for $10.
So it's not a superpower. It's a grift superpower is what it is. Yeah.
And I bought the app, but I haven't seen any aliens yet. So I'm thinking I'm thinking about suing him in small claims court to get my $10 back. Because they basically say, if you give us $10, you can see some spaceships and some aliens. And then you pay the $10 and it's some gay meditation thing. And even if you do it, it doesn't work, in my experience anyway. It's one big grift.
Mike D, I hope you feel better, dude. Just tested positive for C19. I'm taking 5 of you all D-gens with me. Let's go.
C19 is still a thing? I don't know, man.
C2025.
Right, and then he spun the block and gifted 5 memberships. Holy shit! Thank you, Mike D. I hope you're
Thank you.
I'm not sure if what's going on with that shit anymore. Right, it's been forever. I'm not sure if it's gotten worse or better, but hope everything's all right. That's the episode you were talking about it on Kino Casino. The dude's banana sandwich and then getting raped in his elementary school cafeteria or some shit.
Oh yeah. Who is that?
That's David Wilcock, who's the biggest greasy. He's another just big greasy grifter. And lately things have, and for those who aren't aware, you could just Google David Wilcock Ancient Aliens. So he was on 100 episodes of Ancient Aliens, and then that ended, and so he goes grifting, and he gets this partner Corey Good, who says that he went on secret space programs. So for 5 or 8 years they were running around telling everybody these secret space programs. David Wilcock and Corey Good, but Corey Good in a court deposition admitted under oath that he just made all the stories up. So then David Wilcock comes up with a new grift, and his new grift is that he's channeling or talking to or in direct communication with the Archangel Michael, who is telling him to take baths in his own piss in order to get telekinetic superpowers. And then, this is where it gets better. And then he did it, and he got to telekinetic superpowers, and because of that, he was able to move the bullet that was fired at Trump, Matrix style, move it over and save Donald Trump with his superpowers. And I don't know.
Get a Presidential Medal of Freedom for that one.
David Wilcock has had one grift after another grift, and they all come crashing down. His grift before the year 2000 was that we were all going to ascend when the year 2000 hit and get all these superpowers and global peace and all this stuff. And of course, nothing happened. So he went away for a little while, and then he came back with fresh bullshit. And he pulled the same scam again in 2012, saying that when 2012 hit, we're all going to ascend. And each time he's
because of Mayan calendar.
And each time he's selling books and courses, how to prepare for the ascension. And then 2012 comes, and that never happened. Then he got into the secret space grift with the guy who made up all the fake stories and admitted it under oath. And then he got into anti-gravity and free energy. And he claimed if you give him if you gave him $333, you'd be able to do free energy and anti-gravity too. But I happen to know a very curious physicist who is into conspiracy stuff who paid him the money. And it was just a bunch of disconnected nonsense from the internet, nothing original at all, nothing that worked, nothing that you could build or whatever. Then he went on to the angel. I'm talking to the Archangel Michael Grift. And I've been covering this guy and just, sort of A-logging him. He's kind of become a locale for me because he's just so stupid. And he says such crazy things. He's been promising mass arrests since 1998 are going to happen in the next couple of weeks. He just keeps repeating that one. And
I remember the coffins, there was
cargo ships. There was cargo ships filled with prisoners that were all heading to Guantanamo Bay because the mass arrests happened. And then, of course, none of that happened. So then he went back to predicting that the mass arrests are coming any day now again. And he's still doing this. And so he's been involved in a couple of weird scams, too. One of them was a GoFundMe scam where they claimed that this guy, the deep state, was attacking him and they were throwing all of his stuff out of his house in dumpsters. And so they got everybody from the UFO community to donate like $60,000. And I looked into that, and it turned out that the guy's house had been foreclosed on like years prior. And the bank had been saying, you got to get your stuff out or we're going to throw it in dumpsters. That's what the real story was. But it somehow turned into there was bulldozers there and they were going over his science equipment. And this was another one of David Wilcock's sources who claimed he worked for Ronald Reagan. He was an early computer pioneer. His entire background was just fabricated from nothing. His education was fake. He never worked for Ronald Reagan. I checked on all of that. Then there was a PayPal donation scam where he claimed Emery Smith, another one of his fake government insiders, was under deep state attack, and somebody broke in his house and they left a bullet on his counter and all this stuff. And then they showed pictures of the guy in the hospital and they said he was attacked by the deep state. And so years later, the guy's, I suppose, father-in-law of sorts, the guy Emery Smith had a girlfriend that he lived with. Her father came out on YouTube and said all of this was fake and they stole all this money for this deep state attack that never happened, because the truth was that guy didn't get attacked by the deep state. He got attacked by a bottle of vodka. And the picture that they showed of him in the hospital, he was in the hospital for alcohol poisoning. So that's another one of the scams that we covered of David Wilcock's. But lately, he's been saying that I'm a stalker and I've been stalking him for 7 years or something. But I've just explained what I've done. And by the way, we have receipts for everything. Like we can show you the paperwork from the police or from the bank showing that that was a routine foreclosure. We have the video from the father ratting out David Wilcock that there was no deep state attack and you guys collected all this PayPal money on false premises. And then Wilcock also ran something called Convergence Pictures LLC, where he was soliciting public investors and, people to invest in his company. Oh, wow. And then he never made a film. So there was people, at least at one point, complaining that they put money in and never heard what happened to the film. So there's all this shady stuff. And the latest is, give me $333 for these secret, super secret prophecies from the Archangel Michael. What is that?
Somebody's got a little outside noise, I hear, huh?
No. Is it me?
I forgot Scotto's deaf, so he doesn't hear distractions like that.
Is it a siren?
It's like an alarm.
Oh, yeah, somebody out on the street. I'll mute in a minute.
Just mute yourself until it goes by, I guess. Yeah. So lately, though,
you can't tell.
Right.
David Wilcock has gone a little bit crazy, though, because of my coverage of him. And the money's drying up. And the more I do stories about him, I guess the less money he's making. At least this is what my premise is. So he started saying all this wacky shit. Like first he said that I called animal control and complained about him neglecting his dog. And then I got him swatted. So I went and I got the footage. I got the body cam footage. He was never swatted. An animal control officer left a card on his door. But he's telling his dumb as rocks followers that I got him swatted like 20 times in one stream. Well, my friend Steven got me swatted, and he showed the card they left on his door. I got the body cam footage, and we proved that he lied to everybody. There was no swatting. So then he started saying that I was trying to extort money from him, that I'm a terrorist. He said I'm a Satan worshiper and a child predator.
Oh my God.
Just last week on his latest live stream, he said that I stole $4,000 from his bank account. So basically, this guy from Ancient Aliens has got a full-blown Truth Seeker's mind virus going in his brain because he knows that I'm fucking up his grift, and he doesn't like this. So yeah, I don't know, but he's been accusing me of all this stuff. I'm a terrorist. I'm a Satan worshiper. I'm a child predator. I stole money from him. I tried to extort him. I sent death threats. But what you really need with this guy, David Wilcock, is you need a wackadoo translator. So I'll give you some wackadoo translations. People are sending me death threats. The wackadoo translation is people are sending me mean tweets.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do another one. People are sending me death threats. Here's the wackadoo translation. This very good investigative journalist is emailing me questions. That's the wackadoo translator. So this guy just embellishes and he builds things up in his head, and he doesn't live in reality. Like he once appeared at Contact in the Desert, and he started telling everybody that the hotel had bomb threats, that they needed to increase security because he was going to be speaking there, and that he had death threats and threats against his life because what he was going to talk about at this conference was so important, and what it turned out to be is there was one critic of his that was at the event that was going to sit in the back and just take notes. He turned that into, I'm under this huge terrorist attack, and the local police are here with bomb sniffing dogs and all this stuff. And I know that for a fact because I talked to the local police and I talked to the head of the hotel security. None of the shit that he talked about really happened. So it's the same
that's
thing
one I was going to ask you about, where you were talking to the front desk lady, and she was like,
yeah, none of that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, none of that happened. So, but I think that I might have broke his brain, because the last report we did on him, he has this thing called Stavati Aerospace that he claims they're going to build hover cars and free energy and all these advanced fighter jets that do Mach 4 and all this stuff. But it turns out that that's just some scammy, shady company that they've been in business for 30 years as an aerospace company. Guess how many airplanes they've built or manufactured or sold?
0.
There you go. That will give you some indication. And then they're also being sued by investors, and the investor that's suing them gave them $1 million. He's suing them for his money back, and he called them in the court documents, which I showed to my audience. He called them an investment scam and a Ponzi scheme in the court documents. So, and then also we had a citizen journalist send us a video of him right in front of the facility, and there was nobody there, not one car, nothing. And he's supposed to be building flying saucer hover cars or something, or all these incredible technologies there. There was nothing going on, and he was there multiple days. So they can't say, well, it was a day off, or there was nobody at this huge hangar. So they did buy an airplane hangar, but then they promised the local municipality they were going to create 400 jobs. Didn't create one. They lost all their tax breaks. And the latest is that the local township has evicted them from part of their property that they didn't technically own. The township still owned like 4 acres where their airplane hangar is. And they were renting that property that belonged to the township to illegal businesses, one being a sewage company, which was dumping fill there. And David Wilcock's, the company's only source of revenue for this whole time has been that they rented garbage dumpsters, or excuse me, they rented part of their parking lot to a garbage dumpster company who was storing garbage dumpsters on their property. And they admitted that in court documents. So all I've been doing is fact checking him and showing the court documents. but that makes me a terrorist. And that makes me somebody. And I did call the company and ask some questions. I never threatened anybody. He's saying that I left death threats on a voicemail. You know, no matter what you think of me, I'm not a moron. If I was going to threaten somebody's life, I wouldn't do it on a voicemail. I'm not stupid. But the funny thing is he makes all these claims about me and he never shows the receipts. And as I've described to you, I've been showing, like, I showed body cam footage right at his house. I showed court documents of the investor suing them and calling them a Ponzi scheme and a scam. We showed the court documents of there's all these vendors that did work for their facility that they never paid to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. We showed all those receipts and court documents. All Wilcock has is these accusations, which is really kind of ridiculous. Like, I mean, I'm a terrorist. I'm making death threats. I'm trying to extort money. And I stole $4,000 out of his personal bank account somehow. Like, how am I doing all of this stuff? It just, none of this makes any sense.
Like, all these dudes have just some of the most insane delusions of grandeur, and then
loaded sense of self-importance. Yeah, David Wilcock is right now telling people that he's probably going to work for the Trump administration as like the ambassador to the aliens, and he's probably going to testify before Congress and work for the UN. Running the ambassadorship to the aliens. Yeah,
I could see that happening though. Unfortunately, like with the way things are going right now.
And with a name like Wilcock, I mean, you can't really go wrong.
I always says it should be Loves Cox.
Loves Cox.
That's another thing. Like his wife. This is another reason why he hates me. His wife, which is now his ex-wife, she made cucumber porn. Full stop. And I'm not even shitting you. Like, she made full-on cucumber porn, and it was framed like, this is how you cleanse your vajayjay. And it's her and this other chick that's sitting on a bed naked, and she teaches the girl how to you got to peel the cucumber first, and then you got to dill yourself with the cucumber. And that's how you cleanse your vajayjay. It gives it a nice fresh scent and things like that. And I'm watching this going like, bitch, if your pussy stinks that bad, you better see a doctor. You don't just put a cucumber in your vajayjay, because that could be extremely dangerous. So I couldn't play the video on my show because it's extremely pornographic. Right. And like, people send me this shit and I was like, oh my God, this can't be his wife. But then I look right in the credits and it's her previous name, previous to being Elizabeth Wilcock. You can look it up. Elizabeth Wilcock cucumber cleanse. It's out there. Dude, and then she says to this girl,
do you make
they're pickle videos? Yeah, they're canning
she
pickles.
Says to this girl, like, after you're done with the cleansing portion, you can just use it for your pleasure. And this girl starts fucking railing herself with this cucumber, like railing herself with it, moaning and shit. It is something else. And so that's another. So when I do my show, I call it the wacky world of Wilcock, because no matter how much shit I find out about this guy, there's always some other layer of wacky that you didn't see yet, like his wife making cucumber pornography. How does it get better than this?
I'm sure, Michael Rakers, give it a second. I'm sure someone will be sending the link. Don't worry.
Yeah, no doubt.
And also, lately, he said, not only did he say that I stole $4,000, but he's been saying since June, I think, last June, that he's going to sue me for slander. And listen to all the shit that he's saying about me with no evidence or no proof. And then he keeps saying that he's going to get me arrested. And last week he said that not only is he going to get me arrested, but I'm probably going to get the death penalty. Like, okay, I'm getting the death penalty for making fun of you on the internet. You deserve it. Your wife's making cucumber porn. You're involved in all this shady shit. You're saying that the Archangel Michael told you to take a bath in your own piss and get superpowers, and that you saved Donald Trump with your piss-giving superpowers. Like, dude, I'll go to court. fuck you. I'm allowed to make fun of you on the internet, you asshole. And there's
And
also a
Discovery
serious
would-
side. Yeah, there's also a serious side though, because I've got body cam footage. I've got all these court documents supporting that what I'm saying is accurate. I showed a couple of stills from the cucumber porn. That's true and accurate. She made cucumber porn. I'm allowed to talk about that shit. Because
oh man,
his wife making cucumber porn is funny. And then the only downside though is that now there's all these cucumber memes. People are making they're sending David Wilcock stuff like from Beth to Stephen Campion with love or something, or with the cucumber. People are saying that his wife left him for a cucumber. It's bad, dude, 'cause he got divorced because apparently, and this is another one of the wacky world. He got divorced because apparently he's allergic to the JJs. They make him like when he starts getting near a vagina, he gets physically ill. And there's like a clip of him basically saying this. So he's allergic to vaginas. People are saying that he's doing the plow guy, which just sounds fitting. The plow guy. He's always talking about the plow guy coming by.
Oh shit!
Wilcock getting plowed by the plow guy. Oh shit!
Yeah. Well, he did also say that he got butt. Listen to this one. He said that he got butt banged by reptilian aliens during like a ritual ceremony in front of all these people, and then they made him a banana sandwich. Make them a banana sandwich. They made him into a banana sandwich. And then first, I don't know what order this came in, but apparently they fucked him and then they ate him and then they brought him back to life. I think that would be the order. Or maybe they ate him a little bit, then they fucked him, and then but they ate him.
Didn't you go over that one in Kino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ate him and banged him, and then they brought him back to life somehow.
Make a banana
and then
sandwich.
he also, I don't, it's YouTube. I can't use the R word. He had SA pajamas from when he was a little kid. He had pajamas that he claims that he was abducted in or SA'd or R'd. And he saved the rape pajamas. They're rape pajamas. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say it. He saved his rape pajamas all these years. And he showed the rape pajamas, like that's his proof that he was sexually assaulted by reptilian overlords. He saved the pajamas from when he was like 6 years old. They were in plastic. And he brings them out like, yay, these are my rape pajamas.
Vacuum sealed.
He's got them vacuum sealed. Like, yay, these are my rape pajamas. Like, I'm allowed to make fun of this guy. He deserves it.
Right. They're all it's amazing how
our
many
worlds
of them
are just
like
banana.
The ripping and tearing, not banana are.
The ripping and the tearing. The ripping and the tearing.
Oh man.
Holy shit. Let's see.
Yeah, and if people want to know more, just go to my channel. It's Truth Seekers on YouTube, and you'll see it. Like every week we do something on David Wilcock, just about. Even though he's telling his followers that I'm being funded by the deep state. That's the only way I can do this full time. And it's like,
dude, that's why
a
you
couple
can
hours a
afford
week.
cabin.
It's a couple hours a week. It's not full time. I cover other stories and other people in between him because he's so lazy. He only does one stream a week. He works, and then he cried that he only made $258,000 last year on YouTube. He cried about it. I did a video of him crying about it. Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude.
Only 258,000.
Right? Like only like God.
I'll put that one in the live chat because that one then people can connect the name.
Right.
258.
Yeah, y'all go subscribe over there. There's definitely some convergence of lore here. People, so I'm not only deep state to some of the people on our side, I'm also Mossad. Or
that's the best one. Isn't Mossad even more dangerous and respected than the CIA, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
137,000,000%. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But these are also people that aren't smart enough to be able to track how many sodas they sell in a pop machine. Like, this is the type of people we're talking about, right?
Sody pop.
Right.
Put a Coke machine in the lobby for the visitors that come in. And I got wrote up for that because I didn't keep accountability of how many drinks were sold out of the machine. And of course, the first question I asked was, how the hell am I supposed to do that? Pay somebody to go sit in a chair beside a Coke machine?
It's that difficult for a, like, oh shit, massage here.
Yeah. Hey, I told you I'm in charge now.
Right.
Tell Moishi to pack his bags.
Pew pew, motherfucker.
Let's see. But they're extremely self-aware. Like, they know they couldn't be cops because I say soda and pop. Sorry, pop from West Virginia, but I'm ashamed of it, so I try my best to say soda.
They called it pop when I lived in Green Bay. I didn't even know what the hell somebody was talking about. So they came up to me in supermarket. Do you know where the pop is? I'm like, first, I don't work here. Second, what is pop?
Everything's Coke, sir. I'm from the South.
Thank you.
From Atlanta.
I put that link of Wilcock in the private chat.
Okay, I'll grab it right now.
That one's great because he just cries.
I wouldn't tolerate
it was
this
barely enough to survive on 250. It's just stupid. He can't survive.
Oh my god. Oh, Hormaxers live. Why twinks were used as sex slaves. What the fuck?
Oh my lord.
Sorry, that's a just completely different part of our sector. But here's the guy that we started the show with saying that he couldn't be a cop because the cops in his department would murder him. Like, he knows he's that much of an insufferable cop that like department would murder him.
Well, this is probably why I wouldn't be a good cop, because I wouldn't tolerate this shit, and I'd probably end up getting no backup in a horrible situation or something, or get taken out by my own police department.
Like, at least he knows he's a piece of shit at that point, I guess. Like,
so I do make about maybe 10 grand a month on this, but that includes all the super chats and all the ads and everything. So it's not really enough. It's just barely enough to survive. Okay, what I made last year was $258,000. So that was my tax return. That's what I made. It was just barely enough to survive. It's certainly not big money as far as I'm concerned. But it's just barely enough.
It's barely enough to survive.
$258,000.
That's redonkulous.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Like, talk about overhead. Like, dude, you got a pallet as your studio backdrop. Like,
no, actually, that's the funniest part. He lives in a $2 million log cabin style mansion in Colorado. And while he's living in a $2 million log cabin style mansion, he's telling his Dumb as Rocks followers that he's doing everything he can to survive the harsh winters in an uninsulated cabin. This motherfucker has heated floors in his mansion. And he's telling people, I'm struggling to stay warm in my uninsulated cabin. The walls are probably 4 foot thick. They're cabin walls. Of course, there's no insulation. Right? He's got a modern heating. He's got a generator, a car-sized generator for the property that he can't work. He tried to put it on one time. He couldn't get it to start on a live stream. So he's using like a little one to just power his fridge when the power, I don't know. But yeah, he lives like a millionaire's lifestyle, and then he cries that it's not enough money. There's a big sense of entitlement. Like, if you're already getting 258,000 from your followers and you're on your stream crying and complaining that it's not enough, then you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit.
Oh, absolutely. Golly. Heated floors. That's crazy.
Right? I've only one time I was in a hotel in Cologne, and that was the only heated floor experience I've ever had. I have like heated driveways. I know of one person, but that dude is fucking loaded, and so his he had a like half a mile long driveway, and it was heated underneath, so that way it never needed to be plowed or shoveled or
Yeah, that's nice.
Like
If you could swing that, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are super expensive to get put in, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the dude owned a wing of the hospital, or it was like donated a wing of the local hospital. So yeah, he's loaded.
It's just barely enough to survive. I do make about maybe 10.
I was going to say it just kind of repeats a bunch, but
okay, yeah, like that. Great pause face, and that's redonkulous. That's life changing. Like that's like, yeah. See, here's the stream. I was let's introduce him to Hormaxter real quick.
What do they have to do in their life? See, let me ask you a question out there, since you're and I don't care honestly, but you have to ask yourself, what are you doing in your life? You're the one watching me. I'm not the one trying to stream you. I'm not the one trying to talk about you. There's nothing to talk about, you fat pile of putty. And that's what you are. What you fat bastards need to do, and you dorks, I don't know why they're so against working out and getting in shape and against anabolics and against sex and swing clubs. They could be I think these are homosexual men. Tell you honestly, I think you're homos because you are a.
Oh yeah, this is a man that's in his 40s, rolls ecstasy by himself in his Section 8 apartment in Vegas, does a bunch of steroids, and talks about going to a swingers club to bust open pussy and bussy. That's his business model.
Nice.
And it's
He's big on trend. What else? He likes to eat panties.
Oh, let's not go to the panty eating. I really hope that was a dude that sent him those panties.
Oh yeah, and wore them.
Yeah, he was just on stream, like eating, like holding them above his head and like jamming them in his mouth. He's so disgusting. Oh,
Monty, are they going to get under the bar? No, they don't have the strength. There are so many men out there that are so physically weak. These type of men are. I've seen them. These are guys that can't press a gallon of milk. Really. These are the guys with the pink weights. And I just always imagine, I said, Monty, can you imagine if I had a large channel of, say, let's even say I had 10,000 sub channel right now. How much envy. I live rent-free in their head for some reason. I live rent-free in your head, and I love it. No, see, I love this.
Say that.
I love it because, first of all I'm going to get, especially to get porns, I'm going to get free publicity. Okay? Now, when you look at these other people, what are they doing? What are they doing?
He's also lost 3 channels in the past month.
Mm-hmm. Alpha male winner right here. Yeah.
He likes to jerk off on stream for some reason, as if that's not going to get his channel deleted. It's no, he just, that channel got deleted and he started a new one. Woodrow, like
Got
the next
deleted
day.
for showing his junk.
Right, full frontal, like just
Yeah.
But sometimes he can be extremely funny, like when he talks about his business model, life goals, aspirations, stuff like that.
Yeah, because that's a guy that I really want to take advice from, it looks like, right? Like
he's got his
Jesus
shit
Christ.
together for sure. He's definitely got his shit together. Let's see. Pull up some of his greatest hits real quick. He also goes by the name Horror Maxer with 2 X's. And honestly, he fucked it. He should have went XXX since he does porn. I don't know why he didn't. It would have been
Missed
better
a
that way.
golden opportunity there.
I think so, but that's just me. Or Maxer. That's because I was in the wrong spot. There. Here we go. Here's his business model.
I ain't going in there. I'm going into the swing clubs from now on, baby, looking like a fucking dangerous individual, like a guy that can bust open pussy and bussy and break your fucking back, and mercifully, if I choose to strangle you and kill you with my bare fucking hands. That's what it's going to be. And I'm going to show you the results of this. I don't want to be.
Yeah. He's really got it together, if you know what I mean. He's got it all.
Well, that sounds like he's got a plan for busting pussy and bussy.
He's I don't know. He's special, but if you catch him in the right mood and you're in the right mood, it can be some of the most hilarious things. Like, sorry, I was updating my background here.
Have you done anything on ancient archaeology and those guys?
Not really. I haven't really. I think I've read a few Graham Hancock books, but most of that stuff just seems like, it's like, let me tell you a story that may be true that counters the story you've already been told. And I have some vague evidence that may be considered evidence, but they never have smoking gun proof or evidence, I guess. Right. But of course, there's exceptions. There's clearly something weird with the Sphinx, but we know that it was kind of transformed and they took the head off and put a different head on it at some point. So it may have predated the other superstructures, the pyramids and everything, by several thousand years. Why not just repurpose that monument that took forever to build and instead of building a new one? Okay, but a lot of his stuff. I tried to watch that Netflix series, but I was like, this is too dumb even for me. It's just like a lot of dot. It seems like a lot of dot connecting, and well, it may be true if this is true and this is true and this is true and this is true, but all of the mainstream people say none of that is true. So it's kind of a kills the joy of it if you read both sides.
Yeah,
right.
It's like.
I think it is important to question
red thread.
It's important to question the given narrative, but. It's an industry, though. Ancient Mysteries is an industry, just like UFOs. You have that guy.
Yeah, I mean, and it's old. It's old as time.
Yeah, even the History Channel had that one show with the guy. It was like America Unearthed or something, and boy, that guy found a mystery everywhere he went. Like every fucking story. Oh, this is a big mystery. No, sometimes there's just rocks arranged somewhere, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just fucking rocks. Maybe they got bored and they discovered, psychedelics, and they just start rolling rocks together. It doesn't mean anything. And then he's got Masonic temples and baths in a cave, and I don't know about that stuff.
Well, they also prop up that CIA guy over there too. The one I don't, that's still towing the company line and saying all the company talking points. He runs the Everyday Spy.
Yeah, I've seen that guy on a bunch of podcasts. I don't really know what to think of him.
Yeah, he just kind of blew up everywhere and
everywhere at the same time, and he just so happens to be like retired CIA.
Yeah.
And for those
unaware, I know who you're. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for those unaware, there's no retiring. You're always involved in something.
That's why we're glowing right now, just so you know. The guy above you, he glows. And that's another thing that freaks the one guy we watched that I've been showing clips of is Ned's a former Fed, so he's like, there's the connection, and he's Jewish, so he's Mossad and CIA. He's a double agent, and it's like, what? No, dude, we're just laughing at you on the internet.
Yeah. It just makes it better. That makes you more paranoid.
Yeah, they do that. They do that in the UFO world. Like, if you dare question the narratives or the story, then you must be a government disinformation agent or some whatever. You know.
Yeah. it just helps that I have the background.
They must keep forgetting my
nuts.
It's just a coincidence. They keep forgetting my paychecks. You know.
Right. Oh, that's another thing. George Soros. I'm a George Soros paid actor, and I'm like, damn, I work another job. What are you talking about?
Right. But this guy compares us laughing at him on the internet to being a rape victim. He's Anne Frank and also a lynching victim as well. From us laughing at him on the internet, he compares it to being raped, lynched, and Anne Frank.
And having his family held hostage by ISIS.
Oh yeah, that as well.
We're ISIS as well somehow.
Right. I called my toddler a terrorist, and now he's convinced that I'm actually training her for a suicide mission. One of his main talking points is actually pretty funny.
He made a whole video about it.
Right. Oh, the dude's really got his shit together and connected with.
Winner. Well, you guys are following a lot of winners here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we're just on a smaller scale than you. So.
Right. The last.
Yeah, I try not to punch down too much. If I'm going to talk about somebody, I want them to have a huge following.
Well, when we started, like he's still got way more subs than we do.
And that's okay then. You're punching up.
Yeah. He doesn't get. He's bounced from community to community to community. And he changes his opinions and views on topics overnight. Once he gets
based
out
on where he's at. Oh, I hate guys like that. Didn't you ever hate guys like that? Like, like this, like some girl will have a certain opinion, and you know that your friend is like totally opposed to that, but suddenly he's all on board. Like he's trying to grease them legs open just by agreeing with her. That's weak sauce. Man.
He does. He burns when he burns a community. He chameleons himself to the next community, so he can.
Like the one guy we were way when we first started, he was stolen valor. And then also indicted on capital murder, right?
Nice. And quality.
Yeah, he had this whole like huge story about like this decade-long career in the military, 2 Purple Hearts, made it to the rank of staff sergeant and all this stuff, and then turns out he attempted to enlist twice in the military, failed basic training both times, and then all of a sudden this murder indictment got dismissed because they're without prejudice. So he's still currently indicted for murder, and they can bring that back at any time. He also came online with that in his history already, with this big, like, made-up delusional story of being a war hero, while also out on bond for 5 open felonies that he got for breaking into the first adult job, like big boy job he's ever had, 2 separate times, stealing safes, like floor safes, and then attempting to use the company credit card. He actually, and then left the state he's out on bond for, or 2, without permission of the court, and openly bragged about being in different states all over his YouTube and shit. He finally, after what, 2 years, got arrested. They just picked him up like 2 weeks ago. He had like 10 times our, on paper, 10 times our sub level, but most of those were bots, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. It does nothing for your channel. It's for your ego.
Hey, kill it.
Right? Because, you know, someone watches or like 1,000 bots in some third world country watches 30 seconds of your video and that's it. The algorithm no longer, they don't know who to send your shit to at that point, and it just kills your channel.
Exactly. Yeah, bots bad. But a lot of people think, you know, they just want to look good. Like, oh, I have 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, but I don't know. I have 15 and I get more views than you. So there's something wrong there, you know?
Right? It's like, dude, the clip channel for Kino, they're fucking, their
rocking
numbers are
views.
insane.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy views. And yeah, because they are organic. You got to stay organic. You can't fake it. You just can't fake it.
No.
It doesn't work.
I don't know how Ash keeps that energy level up, but
yeah,
he sure does, man.
I think he's like the funniest guy on the internet. I think he's incredibly.
Me up.
The thing that you always admire things, like I admire things about people that I don't have, like abilities and talents that I don't have, and like I'd like to think that sometimes I'm funny, but I'm not funny enough. Like he can take anything and make it hysterical to listen to and watch, and he has great just humor with everything. And it's always like it's just improv off the cuff, so it's like a natural built-in ability that he has to make any situation funnier with his commentary and, you know, his little bits. He's great. And Andy's fun too, you know. I think the two of them together is great.
His straight playing the
he's like
the Laurel to his Hardy.
Or the Ed McMahon, yeah.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I watch a lot of I even clip a lot of their stuff up and I use it like you saw it in the intro that I played. There's like some of their stuff. I watch it outside of the show, even when I'm not going to show it. I watch it and enjoy it.
Oh, sure, me too. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I try to catch it and catch up because some of the stuff they do is so fun. I liked when they were covering that whore that banged 1,000 dudes.
Right.
That's just so funny and easy. Like that's just
they're both pregnant
all
now.
over this whore. Really?
Yeah, they're both pregnant.
Oh, that's
now.
got to be a publicity thing. She just happened to get pregnant after banging 1,000 dudes. They're probably going to do a game show like you are or are not the daddy. They could bring all 1,000 dudes in and test them all.
Right. Like I have hold on. Let's
I was like, guess who?
Yes, you know it is.
Oh, I fucking love Andy. I wish Redacted was here. He's actually the one that told us to reach out to you, told Ned to reach out to you. He's been like, he knows so much of the internet lore. It's so just stuff.
Yeah, he's a font of information, but then you got back in touch. It was crazy.
Right? Because it was the banana sandwich thing, I think, was the first one you guys did over there, or at least that they put up on the clip channel.
Yeah.
Because like going to Kick is kind of a pain in the ass. And then they do the 5 days prior subs only shit. And I'm like, oh, this is donkulous. So I just watched the clips, but when Ned or Greg or G2, whatever, said that you had answered and were down, I was like, no, shut up. No fucking way. But I love it. And I don't know. It almost when Ashton was like, you know, I can't wait for Steve to be here so I don't have to do anything. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
well, he does.
so
plenty,
he
but
like
he
respects
I
the
think
shit out of you
well,
too.
I think the concept is like when they're dry, because sometimes there's not much going on. They would bring me in, and I had like a whole show prepared if they didn't have anything, and that's good to have.
Yeah.
Especially because they're both talented and they can react off of anything. And especially the grosser stuff that I brought them, that shit's Kino. Like this college professor getting caught asking this girl for panties and shit and sniffing them, and you know, man, and Bob Lazar being a convicted pimp, a fake scientist.
Oh yeah, that's
right. Oh, that old
shit.
lady too.
Linda Moulton Howe. Yeah, we caught her selling
Yeah.
fake pictures of aliens twice.
Like the
Yeah.
PlayStation game cover. Yeah, I clipped the shit out of that too. I showed a bunch of it. Like,
Oh, good. Yeah, I knew that's what it was because I rarely play that much in video games, but it just so happened that I was having some kind of medical thing and I was on my back for 6 weeks. And I played the shit out of that game at that time when it came out. So as soon as I saw, for those unaware, she was pushing this picture and she said that it was a genuine picture of an alien taken on the moon. And it was taken straight off of the Xbox 360 game Area 51.
Yeah.
And it was a shoot 'em up. You ran around and you shot up these aliens. And I knew right away, I got a big bookshelf in my whole basement and kept all that stuff. I ran to my basement. Sure enough, she's selling a fucking Xbox 360 game as a real picture of an alien. And even you got to pay $5 and get behind my paywall and hear all about this on Patreon. So it was just a total scam, and I busted her. And then people busted my balls because, oh, she's an old lady, Steve. Maybe she made a mistake. Leave her alone. And at the time,
She's been grifting it since the 70s, though.
Since the late 70s. So at the time, I said, you can't just let her go because then she'll do it again. Oh, no, Steven, she won't do it again. Less than a year later, we caught her again selling completely fake pictures of aliens as real pictures of aliens. But this time, it was from some Portuguese blogger site. Like he was making a fictional story about the Men in Black recovering aliens and that kind of stuff. So he made some 3D render models of pictures of aliens like on a table getting ready to be autopsied. She somehow found that, and it says right on the Portuguese website, these are fictional 3D renders created for this fictional series. She took those images and sold them as a real picture of an orange-gray alien, like a whole new species. But this is, she came up with a story like, this is what the gray aliens look like when they take the exoskeleton suit off. That's the gray part. Underneath, they're pink. And here's a picture of one. And so we even contacted the artist, and he couldn't speak English. We had to get the whole interview translated and shit. But we interviewed him, and he thought the whole thing was hysterical, that this bitch from the United States just stole his images and was making all this money pretending they were real pictures of aliens. And since he made the art, he was having a good time with it. Like, she's ripping me off, but it's funny that she's making all this money from my fake pictures, you know? Right. So we bust her a second time selling completely fake pictures of aliens, and I'm sure we'll bust her again. I just haven't checked in with her much.
I swear she looks like an alien now. I just sent her.
She's one of them old ladies that refuses to give it up. She just keeps getting more work done, I think. You know?
Yeah, it's bad too.
Bad work.
Like,
cheap. She went to the cheap.
She got a litter of puppies.
Yeah.
Right now, and the night the Ralph clips came out on the Clip channel was the night the puppies were born, and I know that because like one of the titles of my clips was she's crying and I'm clipping Steve being introduced to Ralph falling out of his chair right now. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. I'm trying to
Ralph falling out of his chair was so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that dude having like an aneurysm or a stroke in the middle of the stream. He's just like,
you see the short circuit in real time, and it comes back. And it's just
the med bed ones. the one lady's husband that's just like dead eyes staring at the
Oh.
camera for like
High. He looks high as
solid-
shit. He didn't blink.
That
Yeah,
was
cult
wild.
eyes.
Maybe he's just that scared of her.
I know.
mean-
Yeah, could you imagine? Honey, come with me to this streaming where we stream. We're gonna grift today. I don't want to grift. You better sit the fuck down. I gotta smoke up first. Go ahead. We gotta grift today. We gotta get the grift going. The med beds is particularly heinous though, because they're basically telling hopeless people that this super technology is going to come out and cure everything soon. So whether you have cancer or you're dying of bad diabetes or whatever, even if you're missing limbs, it can regrow those. If you if you have a child that's mentally like if you have people don't like the R word. If
Right.
you have a child that has autism,
Andy's
or Down
extra
syndrome,
chromosome and shit.
it can cure that. That is heinous
Yeah.
shit to be promising people.
I forgot
False-
about
giving
Andy's
people
extra
false hope.
chromosome.
Right?
Did-
Like, I really
I wonder
hope
if he
that
ever
they do that.
contacted him.
Are they going to? I know you guys talked about it. Is he going to do the like secret undercover thing? Trying to go through like the med bed or the
No, I don't
program
know.
for
We
them?
never really followed up with that. I could get him in touch if he wanted to do it. I'll bring it up with him when I talk to him next, though. Just sort of remind him. 'Cause
hell
a few
yeah.
people asked me about that. But part of me is like, I don't really want him to give those grifters any money, but it might be worth a couple $100 just for the fun,
Yeah,
Right.
and their reach can get the word out a whole lot better too. About
Yeah.
how
Their
bad it
channel's pretty dead though too. The medbed people, like they have a lot of subs, but they don't get.
Yeah, they
any
bought their
views.
subs. I think they bought their
Hmm.
subs to make them look important.
But
they
it's
get,
just
like, no
terrible
views.
because it's stolen straight from Elysium. That
Yeah,
method.
yeah, that's where I've
Oh,
traced.
they
most
have
of it.
Nazi fucking. Those are the Nazi aliens too, right? The blonde-haired, blue eyes, like
Mhm.
Yeah, the Nordic
superior
ones.
aliens.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ones that are all the incels like because they can jerk off to the
Right.
women.
I love pulling this up because it's Felt's-giving. So like, oh, hold on. Let me take it. Like the pilgrim. Oh my god. Hold on.
Chart it says red-haired humano. Like it doesn't even say human or humanoid. It says red-haired humano.
Yeah.
Now, is it really necessary to be from the Tau Ceti star system in order to have
Well,
red
yeah,
hair?
all the red-haired humanas come from the Tau Ceti star system. That's well known. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then I see here that all tall whites are from 82G Eridane.
Yeah,
There was
and
kind
by the
of
way,
a missed opportunity.
Like this shit goes so deep and like it's just their imagination, right? There's nothing to act like, or is there something they're basing this off of, or
There's nothing to back any of this up. It's just somebody came up with it, and
it
somebody
took
else
off.
might source it later
Well-
and say that this is an accurate portrayal of the races visiting us and where
Well,
they're from and that kind of stuff.
I kind of put it back to the Thule Society too, and
Yes.
the Nazis'
Yeah,
description.
some of that may be the fake, and a lot of people don't know, but all that Nazi UFO stuff, it was generated by tabloids, by people who wanted to bring back the Nazis, sort of the
Exactly.
Fourth Reich, people, because there's no actual documentation, there's no pictures of any kind of flying saucer craft. The one that may be true is the Bell experiments, though. But all the flying saucer and any gravity tech and that you hear, none of it seems to pan out. And most of it was started by tabloid newspapers in Europe in about the early 1960s. So, but what are the source of these stories? Who knows if it's just fiction or if somebody was saying it. Some of that stuff is interesting to think about, though. But if they really had these so-called wonder weapons, they would have won the war with them. They wouldn't have just,
Well, I mean, we hired most of the physicists and scientists.
Operation
in the world.
Paperclip. That was
Paperclip,
real.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just whitewash all these Nazis and put them to work. Man, we got to get to the moon. Yeah.
Oh,
Got to
well,
get to the moon,
space
all the
race.
rocket technology.
They could-
Even stealth came out of a lot of that. So.
Well, yeah, the Horton brothers and their flying wing, the History Channel did a recreation and they proved that it was 90% stealthy, like it would get past most radars. So for that being like 1936 or 37 or 38, I don't remember the exact year, pretty advanced, almost stealth capability that they developed. So certainly the Nazis developed a lot of interesting technology for sure.
Right. And I mean, that's what happens when there's unlimited budget and no morals or values to get in the way. You can do a lot of stuff that way. Get a lot of shit
That's
accomplished.
called USA.
That's current, sir. That's current. All right.
Dude, you know how much
a whole new war.
rice costs to deliver? Very
Or Sesame Street to third world countries and condoms.
I don't understand anybody that's objecting to any kind of an audit, because just from the few examples we've seen, like there's some fucked up shit going on. No, I don't really want to pay for Sesame Street in Baghdad or what. I don't care.
It was Baghdadi Sesame Street. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you have homeless veterans. You have veterans that need mental help. You have all kinds of veterans that need surgeries that they got to wait a year for, and all this. No, we take care of us. I'm big on taking care of us first. It's so stupid that the government doesn't work like your family. You know what your family like? You take care of your own family first, and then if there's anything left, you give to some good causes if you can. But you don't just
taking Jeff.
Yeah, take money out of your
13 years to get his teeth back.
Right. I shattered teeth in Afghanistan when I got hurt in 2010.
Fucking pay 100% pay for that, and they should have got it done for you right when it happened.
Right. And I'm still like waiting, partially now because I don't surgery sucks. But from 2010 until last year, I had to fight the VA because I was rated for a dental injury, but I was rated at 0% because that's the way Veterans Affairs works on things. But since those teeth were missing, there was no coverage. So then, as because I broke my jaw and some like other shit. And it just ended up, I had a partial that destroyed the rest of my teeth. And eventually I had the rest of them pulled, which none of that, the VA didn't do any of it. I had to pay for it all out of pocket. And then, but I'm about to get implants. So finally, only took fucking 10 years, 13 years.
Those are face titties, sir.
That's the point, though. Those things are important, and we're wasting money on all kinds of nonsense. We really should be taking care of things at home first.
Right, like dental, like the bones in your mouth are special bones, and they need special coverage. It's ridiculous.
But when you go through something and you're holding your teeth in your hand, and then the VA says they're not going to cover it because you don't have any teeth, is stupid as fuck.
Right. I'm trying to get those titanium ones. I want to become a comic book villain like Kanye.
Jaws from the old 007 movies that do have metal teeth implants. Yeah.
Right. Well, Kanye just did that shit too. I think. Right. He got titanium teeth.
I don't know about that. I think a lot of times those guys just do the covers, you know.
They go to
covers.
They go to Johnny Dane.
Right. I don't know. That dude was also hooked on nitrogen he was getting from a dentist, so it would be real.
His teeth might be gone, so
right. I'm getting They were like, "What shade do you want?" I was like, "I want the whitest of white, to where you know that like they're not real, and it looks like I have more money than I do. Please, like, make them shits all shiny and stand out." Holy shit! Oh man, this chick is hot. Like, what are you guys talking about? She's a fucking looker, buddy. I tell you what. God damn.
She was a beauty queen back in the.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she was beautiful back in the late.
Back in the
70s.
day, I guess. No, I think more like in the 60s, dude. By the 70s, she was already into the decline stage. I call it the
Decline stage. Was it the
you got a nice looking woman. They got to climb up that nice looking woman hill, but then the downslope comes, you know?
She hit the wall, as they say.
That bitch has been on the downslope for 40 years now.
Yeah,
Just
she's
won't like enjoy the
85.
ride. What?
Yeah,
You say 85? God
Yeah.
damn.
I think she's older than that, maybe. I don't know. I call her the grifting grandma.
Right. Right. I'm trying. Like, it's damn near $100,000. What they're doing after the surgeries are done and the implants are in. It's definitely pricey. Misty Eyed Girl, that is this person.
83. She's born in 42. 1963 was Miss Idaho. Oh, there it is.
Right. That's her hand. This is her hand, right? Oh, so this lady right here, this is her real life hand. In this image.
Oh. Yeah, this is what she's saying is it hand.
Yeah.
What?
Autopsy.
Wait,
and then he stretched the fingers and cut one of the fingers off.
Oh
Like,
my God. Wait, what? For real?
Yeah, that's what he did to
Jesus.
create this. Yeah.
I think we have to blur this on YouTube now. I thought it was prosthetics, but
No, I think it's some kind of 3D.
Right? This lady, this is the lady that Steve has busted twice now selling fake alien pictures. This is one of them, and then the other one was a PlayStation video game cover, and she was passing them off as legitimate, real alien photos. But this is actually just a portrait of her hand with a finger tucked underneath. That's all.
Okay.
On the Peru-Brazil border. These are.
I like the dude pointing at it, by the way.
Yeah.
The dude's like,
look at the alien fingers.
You see it?
Guys,
You
see
see it?
alien fingers.
Yeah,
Actually-
but if I recall, this is like an extra. Like she put the picture on a computer screen and then.
I love how it says actual photograph on it too. Like, yeah, because that's how official pictures are labeled. Actual photograph. Oh, like,
Yeah. That's the
man.
prover maneuver. That's how dumb these
Prover
people are. Just put actual photograph on it and it'll qualify, right?
Right?
Oh,
Like,
man. Couldn't even put
document.
Bates number on there or something.
That would be too. Like, look at the liver spots on her hand, though. Like, come on, Granny. Like, get your shit together. Put a little concealer on there, maybe.
So
The
ridiculous.
nail polish is atrocious.
Well, the funny story about this is it was actually taken. They took a real autopsy photo and then they modified him to make it look like an alien. So this actually is somebody's dead hand, but not
Right.
not
This
an
is
alien.
bruised as fuck. Dude. Now that you say that, like, this bruising is intense. That could be like photoshopped in there as well, though.
Sure.
Good. I'm glad, Aiden. Is this a picture of your people, Aiden? Since you're an alien and all, I was just wondering.
Right.
On his page, it's like, hold on, because it's funny. Like my favorite part about this stream has probably been Aiden like showing up and talking shit, because his page right here actually says zoom in on the right spot. Human being, not an alien. So it's been pretty on point tonight, not gonna lie. Other than like his shitty commentary and whatnot, but he's an alien for sure.
Yeah.
Disruptors, I love it. Kind of looks like Wally, like skinny Wally. No offense.
Right.
Wally. Oh wait, Wally's on
Wally,
that
are you
Ozempic
trolling?
diet now. I forgot about that. No, this is like a channel. It's got 1.2K subs, right?
I know. I'm just
Like an actual real person and shit.
You like the free advertising, Aiden?
Get it, Aiden? You're my favorite alien, honestly.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really know too many aliens. Oh, he's still got a shirt on? Like, Hormaxer, this is so boring. Get in the Speedo and dance around, fucker. Like, dance for me. Dance.
It's funny still that you're calling me a murderer, but you want to talk shit? That's
like,
that's
oh
kind
no,
of a dumb thing to do if you think that.
Right? I mean, like we said earlier, you never leave the agency. You just get reassigned. So
There you go.
Do what you do, right? Holy shit. These people are slow.
What about Scotto over here? Does he speak, or you guys just make him sit here for 3 hours? Like,
Yeah, I
he's
do.
the
I just hear him
beauty.
look pretty for 3 hours.
He's the eye candy.
He's window dressing or something.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
He's the brains of the operation, honestly.
This
We
is
both
true.
have brain damage, so Scotto's here to be the sound engineer and the brains of the operation.
Oh, that's a little scary.
Right.
It is. I will agree.
He's and like we're not joking when we say he's deaf, so nor are we joking when we say
That's
he's
fine.
sound
That's why I'm the
engineer.
sound engineer. It's
I'm
perfect.
half blind, and I always have people taking a shot at me not knowing that I'm half blind. Like, take off the glasses. Why are you wearing sunglasses? Well, I'm half blind, but maybe there's some kids in wheelchairs you could go make fun of next to you, asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And people occasionally people send some kind of nasty message because I keep my set dark, but I do that on purpose, and I'm backlit here with projected lamps so that I can read the screen well. And if it was very bright in here, I couldn't read the screen well enough to run the show. So yeah, but you got a deaf sound engineer. That sounds like a good idea.
Right?
I'm sorry.
With that, like, it's funny too because he's always the one I ask. I'm like, Scotto, can you hear it? Because if you can hear it, that means everyone else can.
Well, there you go. There you go. He
Yeah.
can figure this shit out.
Right.
He's got that. He's got that cochlear.
My dick clear. Thank you, Lupe. My dick clear.
Right. Got that implant.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So, for those that that didn't catch it, we would talk about John Lear. He's the son of
The
Lear, who invented the
created the Lear
jet.
jet. Yeah, but he's
And-
also very interesting. He did verifiably flew.
He's the only person in the world that's qualified on every type of aircraft.
It's crazy.
There he
Yeah,
is.
he had a very he died not long ago, but he
Yeah.
he had a very distinguished career, and he also flew undercover missions for the CIA. And a lot of people say, I've heard it from some people that I trust that were in that sort of intelligence world at the time, who said that he was one of the pilots for the Iran Contra flying the coke around and shit. And he also is pretty interesting is that there's some really famous stories about John Lear and drugs and hookers. Like he loved drugs and hookers. You gotta love the guy, you know? He's an interesting guy. He's flying CIA missions with airplanes full of coke. He likes coke and whores. Like, what's not to like? He was an interesting, and he liked aliens and UFOs. And when he started, he was very
was about
believable.
A whorehouse in Colombia.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anything about.
But when he started on the aliens and the UFOs and the conspiracies, he was very believable. But eventually, he got into crazy town, and he was just like, the government's lying to us. There's hundreds of thousands of people living on Saturn, and there's 100,000 people living on Neptune, and there's hundreds of thousands living on the moon, and they have some kind of hologram system, so we don't see the cities. And he just went full on conspiracy wackadoo eventually.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that they feed the information so much that they begin to believe the information that they're being paid to feed. I mean, I'm fully convinced that he was a controlled op until he went nutty. And it just made it even better.
I guess they just dropped him after that. Yeah, I don't know.
This is Kanye's dentist, the one that got him hooked on the nitrogen, apparently, is what I'm being told. Like, if your dentist is, if this is the picture on your dentist, like, website, maybe go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right? But
I would think so, yeah.
Whoa. That's wild. Holy shit. All right. I don't know. I got a little bit of. We'll show him Todd being a rape victim, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Wrap it. Wrap it after that.
Great quality. Yeah. End on a high note. Yeah.
Right.
Great. Fucking guys. Jesus, man. Just
scrape
the very bottom of the barrel of the scummery on the internet for the ends. Let's save the sloppiest shit that we got for the ending. We'll end strong with this shit. Yes.
They love it though, honestly.
I'm busting your balls. Let's go.
I know. Dude.
Imagine trying to do your job, whatever your job is. I want you to try to imagine you're doing your job. And I want you to imagine that you're right. I shouldn't have worn that short fucking skirt. I shouldn't have worn that fucking short skirt. You're fucking exactly right, Rabbit. It was my fucking
you can
fault.
wear the short skirt. Just stop wearing the thong under
because
it.
I wore a fucking short skirt, Rabbit. You're fucking right.
You wear the short skirt.
You're fucking right, Rabbit. I should have fucking known better before I fucking went out into the world and fucking did my independent shit. Before I fucking exercised my rights, I should have fucking checked with everybody, looked in the mirror, see what the fuck I was wearing before I got fucking raped. And
holy fuck!
Nice.
Right. Because we laugh at him. That's it. Like, we don't interact. We don't go over there. We don't, like, interrupt his show. We don't do any of that shit. We just laugh at him over here on our little corner of the internet. And
that's kind of, you better be careful because according to David Wilcock, because that's all I do with him, you could get the death penalty for this, guys. You better be careful.
He's threatened to sue. We're libelous, defamatory,
slanderous,
subversives,
Bolshevik communists. Like, this dude's got a whole fucking just dialogue every time. Gay Jewish hillbilly space laser attack, rainbow flag. Thank you, Lupe. The best Guadalupe there is on the fucking internet. And thank you for coming, Steve. I hope you come back. Right? I do hope. Yeah. Sure, I hope you guys.
Yeah, if I ever have time, I will. But I tell everybody this. You know, the worst guy to ask to come and be a guest is a guy with his own show, right? Because
right.
They're worried about their own shit, and it's tough to keep up with their own shit. And then you add an extra night, but the stars aligned for you, so there you go.
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, no worries.
Ned's been busting his during the show. You could see him in the over there trying to act like he wasn't watching Bob Lazar content as we were covering other shit. I was like, You could have just took the night off, boss, and did that stuff. We ain't have to. It's all right.
No, it's good. It's good. I enjoy it. I kind of the more dialogue based, other than video based, as we kind of got off on that, just talking. So I like it when we do that. So.
Where's? Oh man, is it not in the right form?
Oh, you're looking.
What the hell happened? Right. Well, no. Dickbag sent me a video, and I'm trying to set it as, but it's not showing up. What the hell? Sorry. I was trying to set it as the outro, and it's not letting me. It's not showing up when I try to upload it. All right. But yeah, he should have checked in the mirror before wearing that short skirt, and he's yelling this at 3 other grown men, and the best response they have for that is,
now you're gonna make me the fucking victim all over again?
Yeah,
really,
you're
Rabbit?
playing the victim. Stop being the fucking
now I'm
victim.
playing the fucking victim, Rabbit.
Yes, you
Going
are.
to
Look
their
as you can wear the short skirt, but just don't wear the thong underneath of it. Like,
nice.
They're ridiculous. All right. Well, that's all I got for tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, dude, your commentary had provided some of the best content. I swear, it was awesome.
Yeah, make sure if you haven't already, go over to my channel and hear me all the time.
Right?
We need new friends. It's just True Seekers, one word, and look for the strange guy with sunglasses.
Right. I've been dropping it throughout the night, like as just randomly
I
here and
wasn't aware.
there.
See that? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hell
We
yeah.
have a
we take care of you.
We have a new clips channel too, where I'm putting just the funniest bits. That's True Seekers clips.
Okay. Oh, that's the other
You know
one that
what?
pops up.
Yeah, for years people told me to start a clips channel. I did, and we only got 150 subscribers or something. So I'm kind of pissed off at my audience who's been twisting my arm. Fuckers, for years, please do a clips channel. Please do a clips channel. Please. I did it. Where are you all at? All you assholes that asked for a clip channel. There it is. Subscribe. I need money. I'm not doing that shit for free. And right now I am. So this is an emergency situation. And we gotta get that channel monetized as soon as possible.
This is a Steve Cambion emergency broadcast
Cash
alert.
emergency broadcast alert.
Oh, that's what I love. Praise cash.
No praising the cash over on that fucking clips channel that I spent all this time on.
This is the clips channel I just dropped.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Like I'm stubbing to that shit for sure.
Oh, there's so
Hell
much funny
yeah.
stuff. All of my funniest bits and little things have been on there. And I'm going to try to keep it to the funny stuff, but sometimes rants or whatever, 5 minutes or less or 10 minutes max, because, you know, like you guys, I do long form. So people are like, oh, 4 hours. I'm like, it's in there somewhere. Find it. I don't have fucking timestamps. I'm half blind. I can't see that shit. Just
exactly.
Yeah. But for people that really want specific information, there's transcripts after a while, so you could search the transcript by keyword and find the stuff.
Right. That's people be like, well, where's it at? And it's like, dude, I'm not doing your research for you. Like, you can figure it out.
I always say that. I always say, I'm sorry, I'm not your unpaid research assistant. Like, I know it's in there. What we do try to occasionally, when I have a very document rich show that's depending and sourcing certain court documents, I drop them on a Google Drive, and they're in the description. Everybody can take them. So a lot of other show hosts and researchers also benefit from what we do. We try to be a public benefit, busting grifters mostly.
Right.
We'll definitely support you. And I love this clip you did 6 days ago on Wilcock. This guy, because we call the guy on Jeff's background that guy. So
right. Oh, fuck yeah. All right.
Oh no, that's Corey Good. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Says the aliens are coming here.
Oh, the bang old broads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need
right.
to write. You don't need to write the stuff. It writes itself. So
Oh, absolutely.
if you're going to play that, so the setup is Corey Good, who's a secret space program loser, insider. He claims he went on the secret space program and for 20 years, and then they age regressed him, and then he admitted in the court documents he just made all the stories up. But this
Was
is
he
one
the
of his
Space Marine?
No, that was a different guy, Randy Kramer. There's multiple of these secret space clowns. So, but this is one of his stories where he said that there's aliens coming here, but they only want to bang old broads, like old Earth women. So I made a funny bit out of
Get
that.
him pregnant.
Yeah, I made a bit out of it.
Oh, that's awesome. I have to watch it.
Yeah, that's on the Clips channel as well.
Yeah.
We'll definitely.
Oh, you got Lou Elizondo. Oh, that's another one I want to. Ooh, I cannot stand that guy.
Somebody's asking in the live chat, I don't do Flat Earth and I don't do We Never Went to the Moon. Those two are just too stupid for me. I just can't do it. And I have family that actually was involved with working on the Apollo program. So that's probably why I'm directly like, come on, man. Thousands of people worked on that program. We went. Do we go by the seat of our pants and barely make it there and back? Yeah, that thing was a glorified fucking fort made out of aluminum foil, right? But it worked.
Yeah,
it did work.
Right.
Ass clenching central.
And Flat Earth is just too stupid for me because you can go to Antarctica and see, there's no ice
curvature.
wall. You can see the curvature of the Earth from an airplane, even in a commercial flight. If you're doing if you're going from I don't know, when I went from Philly to Vegas, for sure you could see the curve. They were high enough cruising altitude that you could see the curvature of the Earth. So Flat Earth is too dumb for me, and so is the moon landing stuff.
Right. Well, this dude says his feet look small on video because the Earth is flat and it creates a fisheye lens. That's the level of cope he goes to.
Yeah, those people are morons.
Yeah,
it's like you really want to go back to what people believed hundreds and hundreds of years ago, or do you want to accept a little bit of science?
He only wants to go back 60 years, something like that.
70.
Maybe 80 years, 70, 80 years, something like
To
that.
the 50s, early 50s. Where he could
Germany and
he can
stuff.
beat women. Oh well, that 80 years for that.
Yeah, that's where he wants to be.
36 Germany.
Yeah. All right. Oh, thank y'all for being here. If you haven't, subscribe to Steve, and then
Both his channels.
Right, the clips and his main channel. I'll drop them again. Hit the like, share, subscribe, and thank you, Steve. Seriously, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I need you to just shut up and get on your knees.
No, listen, in all fairness, I have heard
the misogyny.
In all fairness, I've never heard it
Go,
from
go, 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 go,
Vegas,
go.
but I've heard it from
Choking on the
PS.
tiny dick.